Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Kratom Gals. We're so glad you're here with us today. This is your weekly dose of real talk, real stories, and relentless advocacy. We come here every week to dig into Kratom headlines. There's so many of them. We're going to react to videos, and boy, wait till you see what we're going to watch today. And we question the narratives being pushed, especially when they don't line up with the facts. And there's just some really interesting things you're going to hear today on video, on the record at a hearing that, I want y'all to be on fire in the comments because it's going to get you riled up. This isn't about hyper fear. It's about looking at what's actually being said and who's saying it and what the evidence really shows. I'm Madeline Sklar. I'm the host of this live stream series, the Kratom Gals. We do this every Saturday. We just hang out for a few hours. We watch videos and we talk about it. I also host the Kratom Stories podcast. It's on a little bit of a break right now, but I got so many amazing videos, interviews coming, and those will be coming out very soon. Also host the Kratom Real Talk community over on the school platform. If you have not joined us there, you're missing out. Go to kratomrealtalk.com, and it'll take you right over there. Come join us. It's free. We have amazing conversations going on. We're just there to help educate and advocate for this plant. Now, I've been a consumer of Kratom for almost 7 years. My anniversary is coming up. I'm so excited. I've been using it every day. I've used it every single day for my chronic pain. Never had any issues. Natural Kratom works amazing for me. And that's why I come on here and advocate for the plant, because other people need to know about it. And it's made such a difference in the quality of my life. And if it wasn't for Kratom, I don't even think I'd be able to sit here for 2 hours and have these conversations with y'all. Be sure to join our weekly newsletters over on Substack. Go to kratomrealtalk.substack.com. I'll put it, it's in the ticker as well, and I'll put the link up on the screen in a few minutes. Now, before we begin, this live stream is for educational purposes only. We're not here to give out medical advice. We're not medical professionals. We're sharing our own personal experiences and advocating for responsible use of Kratom. And all views here that we express are our own. So let's bring up the gals. We got special guests today, y'all. I am so excited. Jenifer Martin in Georgia, who testified at the hearing this week. Jenifer, I'm so glad you're here. And Robin Graham,
thank you for having us.
Botanical Advocacy and Education group. And wow, we got some powerhouses here with us today.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
So glad to be here.
Thank you, everybody. Glad to be here.
The chat's on fire, of course. Look at that. God, it's going to take me forever just to go get these comments on the screen.
I know.
Wow, there's so many of y'all here.
Thank you.
We got Lois here. I see Mel.
Hey, everyone.
Let me get all these comments on here for a moment. Robin, I'm so glad you've been in the comments chatting with us when we've been live, and you come from the OG advocate world, years ago, before definitely before I found Kratom, and I'm so glad we've got connected, and you bring so much value to the community. While I'm getting some of these comments so we can kind of get caught up with who all's here, can you tell everybody about your group, Botanical Advocacy and Education?
It's been in the process of getting going for a couple of years, because we saw, and by we have an amazing board. Angela Ross, also one of the old OGs, Lois Gilpin, Russ Rucker, Elizabeth Gardner are our board. And we saw the grassroots advocacy, which is what won the fight in 2016. We've seen it falling off. And we know that it's us as consumers, as advocates, that keep these plants legal, and we have to continue. So that's why we formed. We advocate for all botanical plants, supplements, natural botanicals. And of course, Kratom right now is the forefront because it's the one most under attack at this moment. So,
yeah,
Well,
thank you.
we appreciate all you've done in the past, you and all the other amazing advocates that have been around a long time, and seeing you all come back and being part of this movement. We need as many people helping right now. And you've got a website, which I have up on the screen here, botanicalae.org. I definitely encourage everyone to go sign up, get involved.
One other thing I'd like to add real quick, Madeline. Something that we have all seen and we've heard people saying, we don't know where all it's under attack. So that has been our primary focus over the last couple of weeks, is trying to put together an entire list of every state, every city, every county that has actions, good or bad, because some of them are KCPA or modified KCPAs. And so we have a list that is ongoing. It's a live document. We edit it constantly. And there are some that we have not gotten to yet to verify. So if somebody else sees something that is wrong or that needs added, please let us know. Because it's up to all of us to track what's going on.
Yeah, this is the website, botanicalae.org. I got it on the ticker on the screen there, or the banner on the screen, but this is the website. And yeah, y'all have the most amazing page. When you go to the call to action, click on this first one, too many actions, not enough advocates. This is the most incredible page because you have every state that is under attack right now.
37.
All the information, links 37? To all the bills.
37.
Look at that.
Really?
List.
That's insane.
Look at how many. And they're just all across the country. So everybody needs to go to the site. The link's on the screen, botanicalae.org. And you're the president of the group, right, Robin?
Yes, ma'am. I'm president. Angela and Lois are secretary and treasurer. Russ is our economic development and fundraiser, and Elizabeth is our guardian, is our attorney of record.
And y'all are looking for
volunteers.
So if you go to the volunteer page, y'all come over here, fill out the form, get involved. They need people advocating and helping.
And for those people that say, I want to, but I don't know how, we'll teach you. We have people that will help you write an email, make a phone call. A lot of these areas, we have somebody that can go with you in person if you need to attend a hearing. So just let us know.
And you've got links to all these different bills. I just clicked on the Georgia one because we're getting ready to watch that and talk about it because Jenifer was there this week. And I mean, you've organized an incredible site here. The way y'all did this is great.
It's amazing, yeah.
And
like I said, anyone that finds an area that isn't on there, let us know. Please. We love to be corrected.
Yep, and we all have to do this together.
Yes.
Yes, it's a team.
Absolutely.
Right, for sure.
It's a team effort.
Yep.
For sure.
Lobbying is wonderful. Couldn't get as far as we've gotten without it. But we have to start standing up for the plant. It can't do it on its own.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we can't wait till it's too late. I didn't mean to rhyme.
Exactly.
It just came out that way. But that's what happens to me. I mean, think of like what happened in Louisiana. I wonder how many thousands and thousands of people did not even realize it got not just banned, Schedule 1, criminalized, right. And then the next time they went to go buy kratom at their smoke shop or order it online, they can't get it and didn't even know.
Well, and we have got a little bit of pushback because we listed all these areas. We're not trying to scare people. We're trying to make everyone aware. This fight is more intense than the 2015, 2016 ban. Because at least then we were fighting one enemy. Now we're fighting hundreds and hundreds.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. It's scary.
It is.
But we appreciate all the work y'all are doing.
Yeah.
Well, it truly is our privilege. It's something we love to do. It's something we believe in. And it's something we are very passionate about. And I think we have one of the most amazing boards that's ever come together.
That's great.
I agree.
Well, I'm just thrilled that we've all come together because there are so many of us advocates and we're just all scattered all over the place. And it is hard to like stay informed and know like what to do next. And some people are doing a really good job of keeping everybody informed, but it's still scattered. It would be nice if there was one central place, and it looks like y'all are building something that's an ideal central place for education. Because I was already like kind of working on developing something, but I don't need to now. Like y'all, it's like y'all have done like what I was thinking of doing on like adding another school community that's just strictly advocacy. And we should talk, because I could help y'all organize one over there, because the way that platform works is phenomenal. And I can teach y'all how to utilize all the amazing features. And what's great about it is you can have the repository of all the information, all the resources, you can host webinars, so you can, for people, like teaching people how to do the calls. It's endless. But the best part is a community platform. So everybody connects with, as you know, you're in our school community.
Right. And they don't restrict us because we talk about Kratom.
That's exactly why I set up school 2 years ago. It's like I reached out to them. I said, "Can we talk about Kratom here? Let me tell you what this plant is." And that's what I did. I reached out to them because if you start a community there as a community owner, like, you do have to pay for it. It's not free like a Facebook group or some of these other platforms. But also with those platforms, you get what you pay for. So you're on a Facebook group. Facebook does whatever they want, as everybody knows.
Yeah.
And all the censorship is insane. So I didn't want to deal with any more censorship. So I'm like, I'm probably just going to have a platform I pay for and make it free for everybody, but still, like, I'll pay for it. And for me, it was just worth it as part of my volunteer advocacy to have a place where I can bring people, and it's utilizing my skills as 30 years in digital marketing. Like, I have the skills to help people live stream, podcast, use social media. I've taught social media for 20 years. Like, I have all these skills. I'm so surprised that more people are not trying to take advantage of it.
Well, and one of the things that is so sad to see, we have so many different groups and organizations out there, and everybody's trying to stand alone. This is not the time to stand by yourself. Division will destroy us.
Yeah, exactly.
We have to come together in some manner.
Yeah.
I don't have all the answers. I don't know what that manner is. We're willing to work with anyone because the plant is what's important, not individual personalities.
Exactly.
Agreed. Absolutely.
And having someone of your skill set, Madeline, is so invaluable.
Yes. For
Well,
real.
we all have skills that we can bring to the table. And that's where it's like, well, y'all have this phenomenal, like, first of all, y'all are like the OG advocates. Y'all were part of starting the original AKA, and like, y'all were there to help keep Kratom legal in 2016 when it was under threat. And for consumers like myself who didn't discover Kratom until after that, that's been like really invaluable, because like, if it wasn't for the hard work you all did and getting everybody to work together, there wouldn't have been a plant for me to consume.
Exactly.
So,
and like I said, with what we're fighting now, it scares me more than 2016 did. And that says something.
That's not good. Yeah, it sure does say something. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I remember in 2017 too, when it happened again, and there were, like you said, hand holding. We were helping each other out more then too, and that's what I really want to see happen. Because I couldn't have done it and started out like I did without that. I couldn't have picked up that phone and made that first phone call without somebody helping me through it. So I just appreciate all of it.
And we miss those days because the camaraderie and the caring and commitment could not be beat. And we know it can come back. It's just a question of getting it. And so that's what we have to do. And having platforms like yours, Madeline, like Chris's, it's spectacular.
No, I don't think so.
Where are those dings coming from? This
Oh, it might be me. I'm trying to figure out how to turn it off on my computer. Sorry.
It's okay. It's just kind of loud.
Is it? Oh, I'm so sorry.
It keeps dinging really loud in my headphones.
Well, sometimes you don't know Yeah, sometimes you don't know if it's just you hearing it or if everybody hears it
Yeah.
too. So,
Yeah, because I don't know how to turn it off on my computer.
Right.
I'll have
It's
to.
like,
I'll mess with the settings.
okay, it's
So,
like notifications that you're getting on your computer.
yeah, on my yeah, it's like text messages that go through my computer and my yeah, I'll figure it out.
Are
Sorry
you
about
on
that,
a
guys.
Mac or a PC?
A Mac.
Is it like your text messages or through an
Yeah,
app?
it's my text messages. Yeah, sorry.
I
I'm
think
trying to.
I think you can just disable it on your computer.
Okay, on the texting app. Okay, got you. Let me
Like
see.
I think if you just close it, I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, maybe if I
I
close it, maybe if
have
I
mine
close it, it was
disabled. I think
open.
I
It
think
was
you have to actually
open.
close the app, not just hit the X. I think you have to actually like
The
Oh,
other
close
the
it
other
out.
possibility is go into your audio settings and turn everything except this one down.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I'll look at it, guys. Yeah, sorry about that.
it's okay. I can never find anything on my phone, and Madeline helps me with that too. So,
Oh, hold on. Deborah says it's a plus or minus button on your Mac on the keyboard. If you hit the button, it will turn down the sound. So a plus and minus on your keyboard.
Yeah,
Thank
because
you, Deborah.
that's so amazing.
oh, to just turn down the sound. Oh, okay.
And Amanda says the mute text messages should work.
All right. Sorry, y'all.
That's
Sorry.
okay.
Oh.
Well, what I'm going to do, because we want to get to your stuff, Jenifer, because we're so proud of you.
Mhm.
Y'all, Jenifer Martin here is the only consumer that went to the Georgia hearing this week. She was it, and we need more people going to these hearings. It's most effective when you're the constituent. And
Yes.
so while you're doing that, Jenifer, I'm going to play for y'all, because before we watch the
Yeah.
Georgia hearing, I'm going to start with playing. Jenifer did a TikTok before she went to go speak. And so I'm going to play this for y'all, especially for those that aren't really familiar with Jenifer, and at least kind of see, like, how she got going with this.
Up in the ATL, about to go into the state capitol for a public hearing to try to save our leaf, Kratom. If you know, you know. The last time I was up here, it's crazy because I'm in the exact same public parking spot that me and my husband used to always come to. Anytime we ran out of our Zans, we came down here to re-up when we needed extra, when I ran out of my prescription. But now I'm down here to speak up for the leaf. Not down here to get a sack, not down here to get to re-up on my prescription. None of that. No, I'm here to talk about how much Kratom has saved my life, how it has changed my life, how I am sober and thriving. I have a full-time job. I'm going to school. My kids and my family are in my life, and they trust me. And life is beautiful. And it's all because of this plant. So as nervous as I am, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to tell them, how I feel about it. How dare them try to take something away that brings so much wellness to someone that saves lives. When people are literally dying on the street because of, fentanyl is everywhere, and other substances and stuff. Why can't we have a plant-based option? Like, why are they always coming after, our plant-based options? They did it with marijuana, and now they're doing it with this plant. If you are a Kratom consumer, just advocate, speak up, because you never know, your state might be next. I didn't think that they were going to come after my state because they had the Kratom Consumer Protection Act in place. But little did I know they did, and they're trying to repeal it, with some ban bill, a total ban bill, not just on 7-OH, and I think that the reason we're in this position is 7-OH, it's going to bring Kratom all down. It's going to bring the natural leaf, the entire thing down. So if we would have to, I would rather have one without the other, instead of both of them being banned. It's got to go. So, but yeah, have a great day. I'm going in here. Bye.
We're good. That was great, Jenifer.
It was amazing.
We're gonna watch.
That was spectacular.
we're going to watch you and Bob Durkin, who was amazing, who spoke right
I was
before
so
you. And
thankful for them. I told them, I was like, thank you so much.
but you know what? You bring such a great point up in that video. First of all, that video is very powerful, and I love that you're doing more videos. I know you and I have talked about that before, and you're like, I want to do more of these. And you know, I just got through doing my own self-imposed 30 days of Madeline. I just January 1st. I'm like, I'm just going to make a video or some piece of content, put it on all my social media every day, and see if I can do it for 30 days. And I just finished it yesterday. It was day 30, and I was so proud of myself. And I remind people, it's as simple as pressing the button. Like, you just turn on the camera on your phone, hit that button, just hit that button and just start doing it. And I know there's so many consumers are like, I want to do this. It's like they feel like they need that little push or some motivation, or to feel like other people, like, let's all do it together. So I'm going to be hosting really soon a 5-day video challenge, because so many people want that little push to
That's
do
a good
it.
idea. Yeah. And I wish I can, like, I should try to commit to something like that. I have to be in the right mood. You know, I have to be like, you know, cause like I told you, I suffer from, social anxiety really bad. And I mean, even, through the screen, you know, so I have to be in the good mood, but I've been trying. So that day I did, I, you know, made myself sit there before I went into the state capitol and to do it. So
You're a natural. I mean, you just sat there and just talked, and it was so great. And yeah, so proud of you. But in your video, you say, we have a KCPA here, Crime Consumer Protection Act. I thought I was safe. You know, that happened to us in Texas a year ago. We have a KCPA. We have a KCPA. Apparently, they're not enforcing it. So we had this. What happened to y'all? What's happening right now happened to us a year ago. On the Senate side, you had this senator introduce in Texas a ban bill, and he says on record that powder's fine, but we're just going to ban it all, because 7.0 was the problem. Even though if they enforced what they have in place, then the 7.0 wouldn't be as much of an issue.
Yeah.
But they
Utah
banned it all. Now, luckily, it died in a House committee, but it passed the Senate. It got through, it did the committees, and then passed on the floor. So had it kept going, you know, it could have gotten done on the House side and gone to the governor.
Well, that's good to hear that it died on, you know, it died.
And that happened.
Died out.
It's a process. I learned a lot. I didn't know a lot about this before. You start getting more involved in advocacy, and Robin, you probably could teach a course on this, I'm sure. But because so many times we hear about these bills and we're not always understanding necessarily, okay, that was just like what you went to this week was a subcommittee hearing with the House. And they, you know, it didn't end there, because they're still going to, I guess, review it some more. But let's say it did pass, then it would go to the House floor. And if it passed there, then it would have to go over to this. Like, it's this whole process.
Yeah.
But
the other thing to always watch for in any of these states is there a companion bill? And by that, I mean, you've got a bill in the House. Is there also a bill with matching language in the Senate? Because if you don't have both, it can't become law.
Okay.
So,
okay.
I mean, it can, but it's more convoluted. But always watch to see if there's a companion bill.
Because in Texas, I don't think there was. I don't recall, because with Texas a year ago, it got through the Senate, and then the same bill then got passed over to the House, and it went to like a health committee, and nothing happened. They didn't even do anything with it there.
Yeah, and that's why I say it can still pass. It just has to take a longer route. But if there's a companion bill, they're planning on some serious work.
So you're saying if there is a companion bill, to basically on both sides, then it could go through faster and easier, quicker.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah,
especially if the language
we're all
matches.
learning. So is there a companion bill in Georgia on the Senate side? Do you know?
I'd have to look at our website. Hold on.
Yeah. And then I want to know what they said too at the end there. I asked ChatGPT, I put in the translation from the YouTube video, and I asked, he said, like, ChatGPT said that there was a problem with how the bill was written, but one of the reps did want the ban, but there was a problem with how it was written. So I was confused what was said at the end, because there was so many technical terms,
Right.
So
Currently, there is not a companion bill. Like I said, they can still pass it. It just takes a little more time, effort, and energy. But it's used to be, anyway, it was always a good thing if we saw that there was not a companion bill.
Okay, I'm glad that we have you to come to and
Right.
ask when we run into
Me
these technical
too.
terms that we don't
Yes.
understand, because
And like I said, I could be wrong, but I don't think politics have changed that much. It usually, there has to be something else for both sides to agree on. Just like
Yeah.
on a federal level, you see the Senate say, we're doing this, and the House says, oh, no, you're not.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to know. Sherry, who's here, hi Sherry, another super advocate, says we are
Yeah.
fighting 13 ban bills in Mississippi.
Yep.
Holy cow.
Now I can even top that. You want to hear what Massachusetts has right now?
I'm scared to find out.
Yeah. So am I. 32.
Oh my
Unbelievable.
God.
Wow.
Now, those are not all state level bans. A lot of those are cities and counties, townships. But there's 32 actions of some kind or another in Massachusetts.
That is
It's
crazy.
So it makes me really sad, like, to hear.
Yeah. Because
Um,
it makes those of us that have been doing this for so long, what happened? How did we go from people knowing about the safety of kratom to suddenly now everybody thinks it's bad?
It's because of the 7OH. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I think, because, and then people took it that had like pre-existing conditions, and either had like seizures or deaths or just something going on, and people can't distinguish the two, natural raw leaf kratom and 7OH. There's a difference. One is chemically synthesized and derived, using chemicals extracted from the kratom plant, and one is a all natural ground up leaf powder. But someone smart and that knows how to do their chemistry created this 7OH, and and the vendors they don't care. They're selling them anywhere, and it's gotten all these lawmakers pissed.
Yeah, I think what the manufacturers and vendors of that did was just horrible. The way they manufactured it, how high they made those, and the names, and then selling it as kratom. Because I don't blame the consumer that went in there unknowingly. And most of them are plain leaf kratom advocates too. I blame what the manufacturer did, the way they put it out, and I just think that's horrible, horrible.
Well, and somebody I saw one of the comments come across real quick about they're surprised they aren't having actions in Illinois. Go check our website. Yes, you are.
Oh, Illinois has
Yeah.
lots.
They said they have local ones, but nothing state level. Yes, you do.
It's
So
a
it's just
lot.
like
I hate to be the
cities.
bearer of bad tidings, but yes, you do.
All around the Chicago area, all those suburbs were just picked off one by one. It was terrible.
Bloomington, Illinois, significantly sized city, banned kratom.
Well, Robin, let
This
me ask
past week.
you, if you don't mind, okay, so the federal government came on and had like a press conference saying, we're about to go after 7OH and schedule it as a Schedule 1 drug. I think that was like last year or whatever.
Yes, last summer.
So what is taking them so long? Because I feel like if they would go ahead and do that, our plant won't be on the chopping block. It will, but not nowhere near like it is now.
I wish I had the answer to that, because now they're coming out saying they may classify it as a pharmaceutical medication. That was as of Thursday night?
So there was
HHS.
I thought I heard that correctly. I wasn't sure.
but
Marty, Marty said that, right? When he was in the Oval Office
Marty,
with Trump.
Yeah.
it was Marty McCary. He, if you really pay attention to what he's saying, he says several interesting things all together very quickly.
Mhm.
One of them was that for like pharmaceuticals, what would take 10 or more years, they're pushing through in just weeks.
Wow.
And then,
Yeah,
and then,
so
he,
that's what
and
he
then,
was
and then he
talking
mentioned
about.
70, and then he mentioned 7OH. And it's like, okay, is he talking about specific? Because there are research things going on. Like there is research happening for 708 for 7-hydroxymetragynine. It's out there.
Okay.
I've seen some of the
Well, what
reports.
if, look, that is amazing if they do that in people that are in pain that need it. That is amazing, you know, I mean, amazing. But right now it's the way it's being accessed. It's putting our plant, everything, all the above under attack.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, but
I think there has to be a lot more discussion and
yeah.
research and open, honest conversations.
Yeah. But, you know,
But the
but
big
why would
thing,
they do that? Because, like, I don't know. It's crazy, you know, and
Lois
I don't
says
know
there's
much
an
about this
active,
stuff to be talking on it. But
Lois says there's an active patent on 7OH, and I've seen
Yes.
stuff about that. And then also
Mhm.
what Amanda's talking about, I've seen like some studies on MIT and 7O turning it into a pharmaceutical. It's very early stages, but when you got Marty McCary saying, well, we're pushing things through in weeks instead of 10 years. It's like, so what? They
Well,
plan
and that's
turning-
part of what we with BAE, we decided a long time ago, we focus on natural botanical.
yeah,
Nothing added, nothing taken away.
not that chemical shit. Exactly. Yeah. Excuse my language. Sorry about that, guys. But
You're
yeah,
allowed.
it's got to go. Like our plant is under attack, you know, more than ever because of it. You know, and now all of a sudden I don't know how I feel actually about it. Like
Well,
now
and
all
it
of a sudden
causes
they
more
want to,
division too, which is
yeah.
the saddest thing is there's those of us in this chat, in this room, that see both sides of it and see the division. And that's where our concern is the division that it's bringing.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Because we still have to all come together for the natural plant, because otherwise we don't have it.
Well, this is the best comment right here. 7OH is helping people
Yeah.
with withdrawal and severe pain, 100%.
Mhm.
I know people that use it for that, and I've talked to a lot of people. A lot of people have been devastated by it as well. But
Yeah.
it's those gas station retailers, it's the drug names. I mean, come on, calling
That's
a
Lack
product
of education.
perks, and then what about the one called dopium? So see, to me, it's like, okay, it's not just bad actors with the manufacturing and these vendors. That's government too. Government's going to allow, like, what? So I could just go create a product, call it dopium, and go put it on the market, and the government's not going to do anything
Right.
at any
It makes me
level.
so
Even,
mad.
I mean, who does the government do they not pay attention to, like, so I can just go make up something, call it an outrageous name, and go put it on the market? That's
Yeah.
insane. That is absolutely insane. The government needs to take some responsibility for that.
Yeah,
I
I
mean, some
agree.
of those 7O names are astounding to me.
It makes me so mad, and it's so easy to get, and that's what is these lawmakers are so mad about. You know, that one guy at the hearing that I was at, he brought it in to the hearing to like show them like, hey, look how easy this was to pick up. But a lot of, you know, it's a mess. Yeah.
And this is a good point right here. What if the next FDA commissioner in the next administration decides to include leaf? Like to ban it. Like there's always that possibility too.
Exactly. And for us, it all boils back to education.
100%.
We have to educate people again. It's
Yeah.
like a never ending cycle that,
Yeah.
you know, pure leaf natural kratom is safe.
Yeah.
Someone that not a lot of the folks nowadays remember, but I was blessed to call her friend, Dr. Jane Babin. When she came out and did her white paper and refuted all of the FDA claims of deaths, she was spectacular. That's when we found out that one of the death claims that the FDA was using was a man that had fell out a window, broke his arm, was taking something like 7 different medications, refused treatment, then took kratom and died later. Well, gee, you think?
Yeah.
Wow.
And
So
these
mad.
states are still using some of that information.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know when I heard that alcohol and kratom, plain leaf kratom were toxic together come out of somebody's mouth. I
Westlake
don't think it was
Village.
that one. Yeah.
Westlake
Yeah.
Village. Mhm.
I was just, I just, because we all know you don't want to drink with kratom. So I'm wondering where he got that information. It's just,
Well, and if he's looking at toxicity to the liver from alcohol and other products, why aren't they looking at Tylenol?
Right.
right.
You know what?
Right.
Someone made a video from Mr. Mitrespect. I think his name is
Mitrespect.
Daniel. He
Yeah.
made such look. I wish I knew that information before I went to that hearing, because I would have so mentioned that. Because I mean the statistics on the deaths. I don't know if you're able to pull that up, Madeline, on the
Yeah.
difference between 7-OH and
Wait,
or
do you
no,
know
not
which one? Was it,
on
was it the one
Tylenol,
where he's
man?
in, was it the one where he's in his car? Because
Yeah,
I
I
remember
think
saving it
so.
where he talked about research. Yeah, that's Dan Dan Pita from Mitrospec. They've been putting out some great educational and advocacy videos. I can play it because I think I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, but I mean, so he was talking about all these deaths from Tylenol every year, compared to not 7-OH, but like, you know, or you know, those two, Tylenol and 7-OH, you know, because I don't believe have been any at all from powder leaf. It's never happened in Southeast Asia. You know, if any of them have happened here, it's because of the 7-OH, you know, and people having
Polydrug use
pre-existing
or
conditions.
polydrug use or
Right.
research
Yeah,
chemicals.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think I have. Let me play this real quick. Tell me if this is the one you're thinking that you. I think this was the one where he's in his car. Let me start playing it. Tell me if because this
Where
is the
he
one
re-
he did on.
Since every-
This one's on research.
So I've been doing some more kratom research, and I want to share with you what I found about this dangerous substance that politicians and the media keep warning us about. This
Yeah,
substance
this is
sends
it.
over 56,000 people to the emergency room every year. It hospitalizes 2,600 Americans annually. It kills approximately 500 people every single year in the United States. Poison Control receives over 100,000 calls about this substance every year. That's the leading cause of calls to poison control in the country. This substance is responsible for 50%, half of all acute liver failure cases in America. It's the #1 cause of liver failure requiring transplant. And get this, half of these poisonings are completely unintentional. People don't even realize they've taken too much until it's too late. 30,000 children are poisoned by this stuff every year. It's unregulated. It's available everywhere. Gas stations, grocery stores. There's no age restrictions in most states. Anyone can buy it. Kids can buy it. Clearly, this is something we need to ban immediately, right? This is exactly the kind of dangerous, unregulated substance that, wait, hold on. I'm reading the wrong notes. This is Tylenol,
This is so perfect.
acetaminophen, the stuff you give your kids when they have a
Wow.
fever, the pill you take for a headache without even thinking about it. Huh.
Tylenol.
Okay, let me get the kratom statistics here. Here we go. From 2011 to 2017, over 7 years, poison control centers across the United States received 1,800 total calls about kratom. Tylenol gets 100,000 per year. Kratom got 1,800 over 7 years. The CDC studied 27,000 overdose deaths. Kratom was detected in 152 of them, 0.56%. And of those 152, only 7 had kratom as their only substance in their system. And the CDC even said in those cases, they couldn't rule out other substances being present. So let me get this straight. Tylenol, 56,000 ER visits per year, 500 deaths per year, 50% of all liver failure, 100,000 poison control calls annually. Kratom, 1,800 poison control calls over 7 years, 7 possible single substance deaths over an 18-month study period. And kratom is the one they want to ban. Now, look, I know some of you are thinking, what about 7-OH? What about the recent numbers? Fair. Let me give you the absolute worst case scenario. Everything, natural kratom and concentrated 7-OH products, every state, every death, Tampa Bay Times did a 10-year investigation in Florida, 580 total kratom-related deaths over a decade. Only 46 involved kratom alone. Ohio cited 200 deaths over 5 years, but their own health department specified those were from synthetic kratom, concentrated 7-OH, not natural leaf. Washington State, 35 kratom detected deaths in 2024, 1% of overdose deaths. Fentanyl killed 2,275 people in Washington that same year, 70% of all the overdose deaths. Add it all up, every state, every product, natural and synthetic, the absolute worst. Acetaminophen still kills more people in a single year than kratom has killed in a decade. Now, I want to be clear about something. Concentrated 7-OH is not the same as natural kratom. Natural kratom leaf has less than 2% 7-OH as a total of all alkaloids, 2% of total alkaloids. These new synthetic products are 90% pure, 10 to 13 times more potent than morphine. It's like comparing beer to Everclear. They're not the same thing. And the FDA agrees. In July 2025, they recommended scheduling concentrated 7-OH, but not natural kratom. I support regulating concentrated 7-OH. I don't think there should be a full ban. I think there should be age restrictions, labeling requirements, potency limits, common sense stuff, same way they do with alcohol. But banning natural kratom, based on these numbers, we don't ban Tylenol, we educate people about it. We put warning labels on it. We tell people not to take too much and not to mix it with alcohol. Why can't we do the same thing with kratom? Education, proper dosing information, age restrictions, quality testing, regulation, not prohibition. Because if we banned everything with a worse safety profile than kratom, you'd have to clean out your entire medicine cabinet, starting with the Tylenol. I'm Dan with Mitrespect. Thanks for listening.
That is so good.
That
He
was
says
great.
it's so
That needs to be sent to Westlake Village.
Yep.
Jennifer, thank you for mentioning, because I totally forgot I wanted to play his video. And
yeah. He said
That's
it. So
amazing.
I was like, I wish I had known all
Perfectly
that.
said.
That.
Well, and that's one of the things I'm trying to do is do more of these like educational videos like that, science with the facts. I've done some, and people, I get so many comments, like people are like, this is information I need, and then I can share this, and hopefully we can educate these legislators with these facts. Because in Georgia, where you spoke this week, I mean, the guy was so misinformed. I couldn't believe how many things he said that were so incorrect. And we're going to be watching it. I know you're more pressed for time today and can't stay for the whole thing, and we're already coming up to the top of the hour. I'm going to play what I'm going to do in case you have to go soon. I'm going to go and play your testimony. I'm going to play your testimony, because what we're going to watch today, if you don't, for those that just got here, so Georgia, the state of Georgia had a ban hearing this week, and Jenifer was there. Jenifer was the only kratom consumer who was there to speak, and we're going to watch different parts of this. But let me just go and play what Jenifer said. I want y'all to see her testimony, because it is so important to get out and do this. And it's literally a matter of just showing up. And, you know, Jenifer and I were texting when she was there. And I remember you said, I'm so nervous. I'm like, you're going to be great. And then I'm watching you. I'm like, you did not look nervous. You were just, you had written down what you wanted to say. You said it perfectly. Yeah. And it definitely makes an impact. It's so important.
I went over it over and over and over.
You did not look nervous at all. Like an advocate who has something to say to these people who make the laws that could impact your life, because we're going to get to that part later, playing, you know, the introduction of this bill, but they want to make a Schedule 1. They want to like turn you into a felon for using natural kratom, which is I don't understand. I just don't get it. And his reasoning behind it is insane. I have all of that. But let me start with playing, because if I play this in order of everything, then it'll take a while before we get. I want everybody to be sure. I can always replay it again, but I want you to be here for sure in case.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna stay through, because my little one's being good. So
good. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, because we can always play it again later. But let me go ahead and play for everybody. Let's watch Jenifer's 3-minute testimony. This is the House of Representatives Subcommittee in the state of Georgia.
Good afternoon, fellow Georgians. Hope everyone is well. I wrote everything down. I hope that's okay.
nervous Nancy right now. So, but good afternoon, and thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is Jen. I'm a mother, a person in long-term recovery, and someone whose life was saved by natural kratom leaf. In 2006, I was prescribed opiate pain medication by my doctor, was started as a legitimate treatment, slowly turned into addiction, and eventually escalated into illegal opioids, including fentanyl. I lost everything, and most painfully, I lost my husband to fentanyl. After his death, I entered recovery treatment, and that's when I found natural kratom leaf. I have been clean for almost 4 years. I have my kids back. I've held the same job for 4 years, which that was impossible for me to do before. And I'm in school working towards my master's in psychology to become a substance abuse counselor. This comes from the natural kratom plant, not the extracts, not the concentrates, not the synthetic or high potency products like 7-OH that we've heard so many horror stories today about. Plain kratom leaf does not intoxicate me or impair me. It helped me stay in recovery and rebuild my life. People deserve the right to access a natural, plant-based alternative that helps them stay alive and in recovery, especially when the alternative is returning to the illicit drug market, which is very dangerous right now. It's critical to understand that natural kratom leaf is not the same as high potency, chemically altered, or synthetic kratom products. Treating the same is a big mistake, and many people in recovery, including myself, actively avoid those products because of their risk. Georgia already has the Kratom Consumer Protection Act in place, which includes age limits, product testing, and labeling requirements. Those protections are working and they should remain in place. What I do not support is criminalizing a natural plant that helps people like me survive while dangerous high potency products are either lumped together or allowed to drive policy. If there is to be a ban, it should be narrowly focused on high potency, synthetic, or isolated products, not on the natural kratom leaf that has already been responsibly regulated and helps so many people like me stay alive and in recovery. Um, yeah. And I was going to say, so Florida banned 7-OH and they have left, the natural plant alone. 7-OH has ruined everything. All the sad stories that we heard in this room today is because of 7-OH. But, you know, it's just, I'm asking that you guys just leave the raw powder alone, but thank you so much for letting me talk.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for Ms. Ms. Martin? I don't think you have any questions,
Okay.
Martin. Thank you so much.
You were great.
That was amazing.
You were
Thank you.
fantastic.
That
Yeah,
was so
you can hear
good.
me going, like, when I was trying to catch my breath, because I was nervous, but yeah, I'm glad that now after I watched it, I was like, good. You couldn't tell, that I was shaking.
You could not tell it all, but you know
Yeah.
what? If you weren't nervous, I would be concerned. It's a
Mhm.
nerve-wracking thing to do for anybody, no matter how well versed you are at speaking and doing stuff like that all the time, or not at all. It's nerve-wracking no matter what. And you were
Yeah.
just cool, calm, collect, and you did the smartest thing. You brought a script with you. You brought something to just read because it's so much better when you're not prepared. It's so easy because it's intimidating to sit in front of all them.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It
I would
really
have
is.
been all over the place if I wasn't prepared because
And
I
it's just
stutter
best to have
when I'm
something
nervous.
written.
And you
And-
Yeah.
looked, this is something these ladies have heard me say before. You looked so professional and well put together.
Good.
Yes.
That makes me
That
feel
is
good. Thank you.
because everybody's heard me say it. You only get one chance to make that first impression. You made
Yeah.
a dynamite first impression.
Perfect. I'm so glad to hear that.
Absolutely
Thank
dynamite.
you.
Yeah. And 3 minutes feels so long when you're up there talking for 3
It's
minutes.
forever.
2 minutes I feel really good about, but when I start getting to that 3-minute mark, I feel like I'm just gonna lose my breath and just
Yeah.
pass out,
And that's
Mhm.
that's the exact, yeah. That's
Yeah,
what
but
that
you did
is.
awesome.
Yeah, you were
Yeah,
great.
fantastic. Thank
Well-
you again. And on behalf of all the advocates everywhere, I apologize that you did not have more support there because you should have.
Yeah.
I was sad. Yeah, it makes me sad. We need people to start speaking up, you know.
Mhm.
No matter how bad your social anxiety is or how anxious it is, like I couldn't wait till it was over, you know, and I felt so good once it was over, but I knew that I had to do it. I knew that I had to do it. And look, what if I had chickened out? Look, there wouldn't have been one consumer there, and you know, it could have gotten past, you know. So I'm so glad I did.
Exactly. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead since you're going to go ahead and stay with us, Jennifer, however long you can. I'm going to go ahead and bring Becca up. So we got 5 of us today. Hey,
Hey,
Becca,
Becca.
Hi,
How you going,
Becca.
Becca?
one of
So
our
good to
OG
see you.
Hey,
advocates.
Becca.
Becca, did you ever think you would ever see me on camera?
Oh my goodness, how are you?
I'm getting through it.
You're doing a great job. It's so good to see you guys, all of you.
We
Yes,
just have amazing advocates in our community, and it's so great having us all together on screen here talking about all of this. Jennifer, you did an amazing job. Such an amazing job.
I don't think that can be said enough.
Yeah, the
You
comments.
were
comments in
fantastic.
here, people were just saying so many great things while watching
Thank you so
Jennifer
much.
speak. So
Yeah.
hopefully that helps, because you know it helps fuel us even more when we see the reaction from everyone, and everybody loved what you said, and they appreciate you so much.
That
And we
makes
got
me feel so good. Yeah, because
to get more people.
if there's more hearings now, it's on. Like I'm ready to go up there. I'm going to be less nervous now. I know what to expect, and I know
Right.
that you guys are behind me. So now I'm pumped. You know.
We will watch you. And
Another thing to think about is when you write your script, if we get a lot of people to attend the next one, you may be cut down to 1 or 2 minutes. So have scripts prepared for those time links.
Great idea.
Yeah, Amanda made a comment about that. I don't know if
God.
y'all saw that. I put it back up. Amanda made a great comment about that. She said, make 2 of them. Have one you can do in 1 minute and one you can do in 2 minutes, because that way you're prepared. And that's actually really smart, because when Florida was going through this about a year ago, we watched that hearing on the Kratom Gals. Venus, I'm sure you remember, they had massive amounts of pro-Kratom people there, a lot of kava shop owners, a lot of consumers, and our good friend of mine, Abram Jacobson from Pure Infinity Botanicals, was there. He said originally they were supposed to get like 3 minutes. Then they changed it to, I think, 2 minutes. And then when everything was said and done, they only got, it was either a minute or 30 seconds because there were so many people. And he said, we all were working on our scripts, and like to be just told last minute, like you get hardly any time. He said it just threw everybody off. Plus, at that hearing, that's the one where the guy in charge, the legislator in charge, he was glaring at every pro-Kratom person while they spoke. He was so intimidating. I remember we were shocked.
He was.
He was so rude to everybody. And it was like, that makes it even worse. Could you imagine? I mean, Jennifer, you had a very receptive group of legislators.
They were great. Yeah.
They were very professional, very friendly, but we've seen hearings where these people are rude and condescending and glaring at you while you speak.
Wow, I didn't see that. See, I would have been, I probably would have shut down at that point. Not shut down, but I would have started stuttering, and I would have really been nervous. But that's not cool that they do that to people.
Yes, depends on the person, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're muted, Robin. We don't hear you. Uh-oh, did we lose her?
No, we lost her.
Oh, she probably pressed the wrong button. She'll be right back. It's so great having this group here.
I love it.
It really is.
And it's been more conversation than videos, which is fine. Here she comes. She's coming back up.
Completely out.
There you are. There you are. I think you pressed the
back.
wrong button, because all of a sudden you were gone. What were you saying? Because you were muted.
It's almost like these guys get in office and forget who put them there.
Not to let Amelia know. Yes, go tell Dakota not.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Totally agree.
Oh, you're muted again, Robin.
We put you there. We can replace you. And I think a lot of
Exactly.
times legislators need to be reminded of that.
Yep. And
That's
shown
so
that
good.
if they don't get it.
So sorry, you guys.
Oh, no, it's okay.
Oh my gosh,
No
I'm so
problem.
That's okay. But yeah, that's such a great point, Robin, because those legislators can be replaced, and it really should be the other way around. They should be intimidated by us because we the people, and they're
Yes.
the reason why they sit in that seat. So,
Mm-hmm.
as a reminder to everyone, don't let them intimidate you.
Right.
Yeah.
Stand proud because what you're doing is something that needs done and not enough people are willing to. Never let them cow you.
But it is also our right to, you know, have our to be part of government, to put our comments out there and to be heard. And yeah, so definitely.
Yeah. Well, why don't we watch the Georgia hearing, because the guy that's introducing the bill, Rick Townsend, isn't he an attorney? Am I right that is he the one that's like one of these ban bills? It's like the guy's an attorney representing somebody in a Kratom lawsuit. Is that
That's you. I believe that's McHale in
Utah?
Utah.
Utah. Okay, it's
That's
hard to
McHale.
keep up with this. That's why, Robin, I'm so glad you're here. To
Yeah.
keep us
Yeah.
informed, because there's so many of these. I can't keep up with it all.
But
we need to
if I
watch.
didn't have notes, I wouldn't either.
Well, you know the most, so we're putting you in charge of that because you're the most. You know all this stuff.
And I'm putting Angela in charge of it because she's the one that really keeps it on track.
Yeah, we need you guys.
Yeah, Amanda says we need a DC rally again.
Yes, we do.
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
For sure, guys.
Anybody?
I don't know if that was so much work. I don't think any of us slept more than half an hour a night for weeks.
Yeah.
My dog's playing games on coming in, so I have to keep checking.
That's okay. Y'all did amazing
Yeah,
work.
my kids are in and out of the door, so I was like trying to tell them to go outside, but try not to let my youngest see you go outside because I gotta be out looking out the window constantly and make sure to say hi.
Hi. How are you?
Aw.
Hi, pretty lady.
Love you.
Oh.
She is so amazing.
Well, let's watch them introduce this bill, because the guy just says some interesting things that are not true that I can show y'all are not true. So let's watch this. So this is what happened earlier this week in Georgia. It was a House subcommittee hearing.
Rick, if you want to come present the bill to the committee, please, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Everybody else, thank you, committee members. Appreciate you being here for the committee hearing, and appreciate everybody here for it. First, come to you because, as you know, we did this a couple years ago, and it started off, and it still is a constituent-based issue. It's not something I heard from others or a lobbyist group or industry or whatever else. I had two people affected back home. One died. One also, eventually, it was even in a halfway house. He was encouraged to take kratom to get off opioids, as people are sometimes. And that made it worse. He wound up in a mental health institution, and now he's homeless in Florida, and they can't find him. So that saga, unfortunately, sad tragedy, and it's true. It's happening as we speak. The latest update was about 2 months ago. I got from the family, and I keep in touch with them regularly. That family are actually friends of mine as well. So this comes from the heart. This comes from constituents based what's happened. Basically, I'm asking for an all-out ban. Last time it fell short during the process. I understood and respected the process. But unfortunately, in the time being, since it was instituted last January, we did pass some laws and regulations, tighten it up. My estimate, and it's just an estimate, it's not a professional version because I'm not a professional data person or can keep track of it. But there's still quite a few manufacturers I know of, not adhering to the law. And the enforcement issue is an issue. So we're not keeping Georgians safe. The industry is not cleaning itself up. There's not enough research out there. Some of the research the University of Florida is doing is coming through. University of Georgia is doing research as well. It's starting to happen. I've talked to researchers, And still, after all that, we're still at this time, you still can't prevent somebody walking to a convenience store or a vape shop or a head shop or whatever else you want to call it, buy something, and you got to read the label. And for them to know, is this safe for me? You got it on there. We've got laws on there, but how much chemicals are allowed? Certain part of, I'll mispronounce it, but androgenine, 7-OH, or metrogenine. Some people call it metrogena, hydrogena. What amounts you're allowed in there because of the natural leaf substance. But still, you have people going above that. So you have people walking off the street not knowing, don't even know it's dangerous. Don't know you can't mix it with blood pressure meds. And I'm hearing this from research. You can't mix it with seizure medicines.
Okay, I'm going to stop right here because he says you can't mix this with blood pressure medicines. And I have experience with that. I use a blood pressure medication. I've taken it for almost 20 years, way before Kratom. I've been using Kratom every day, multiple times a day for 7 years. I've never had any issues. Now, this is anecdotal evidence, but he's trying to state it like it's a fact. Where are his facts? And what's interesting is that questions come up all the time. I have a fairly large community on TikTok, and I have these questions come up all the time from people, and I will post them as a question to the whole group, and then we'll get a ton of comments. I'm going to show y'all one of these where blood pressure medicine came up to the conversation, and this has come up into the conversation multiple times over the couple of years I've been utilizing TikTok for our community. And I want to show y'all, just bear with me because I got to pull it up on the screen here. I want y'all to see the comments from, this is actually one from this month in January. So somebody had asked the question, I'm worried with that Kratom will react with my blood pressure medication. I know they also had more to this. Let me see if I can find it. But as you can see on the right side here, there's tons and tons of responses. Somewhere in here, there was something else at the end of that. But people were sharing their personal experience. Plenty of people were saying they're not using blood pressure medication, but their blood pressure actually went down consuming Kratom. A lot of people said that they do take blood pressure medication. People were listing all different kinds. This one listed 3 different ones and says, I've had no problems with interactions, but that's just me. And here's another one that takes a blood pressure medication. They've had no issues. They've been consuming Kratom. Like there's person after person after person mentioning their blood pressure medication and that they've had no issues on here. But again, it's anecdotal evidence. But still, this is helpful to when people ask questions in our community. I love this because this is where you can get firsthand experience.
Yep.
Instead of a legislator
who has no clue. Yeah.
Right, exactly. That we can easily question, well, where's he getting his information from? An interesting thing, about a year ago, I had to go get a medical procedure, and I had a really bad reaction to the dye that was used. And I needed to be on heavy doses of Benadryl, other antihistamines, and not at the same time, but rotating, and steroids. And I'm like, well, I've been on low amounts of those with my Kratom, spaced out, of course, but for taking it more than short period of time, I don't know. So, and I remember those have been questions in my community on TikTok in the past. So I went and found those, just like what I showed y'all, where I have those kinds of Q&A things. And I found the ones where people were asking about Kratom and antihistamines, or Kratom and Benadryl. And it was just like what we just saw. Person after person after person saying, my experience has been this. And it was all like, okay, most people say, but again, I'm just gathering information. I'm doing my research, and I'm an adult. I'm going to make my own decision, but I wanted to just gather information. And I did the same thing with the steroids. And it was like, so many people said the same thing. Like, I didn't have any problems with it. Yeah, I take them both. I don't take them in the exact same moment, but I spread it out. But yes, I take them together. I've done it for years. I'm like, okay, good to know. Like, I gathered the information. I was able to use those products, and I had no issues with my Kratom.
That's good that you do that, for something to come to like reference to, when we need to debunk something, we got all these people, and you'll get like a bunch of comments of people commenting on your videos, about that. I'm glad
Right.
you do that.
It's just like something I'm able to do to just help with the community, because we do that on our school platform at Kratom Real Talk as well. But I have way more people following me on TikTok, and I notice. I mean, I like having it done in both places, but I notice when I put out posts like what we just looked at on my TikTok, people just come out of the woodwork and like, well, here's my experience on this question, and it's just nice to know like you're not alone with this. Had I not had those on the Benadryl and the steroids, I've been like, well, where am I going to find out information? I'm going to have to go Google. Is it going to be legit? How do I know? Like, I want to hear from people's experience. I want to hear firsthand experience and then make my own decision. And not to say somebody might have an opposite reaction. We don't know. We're not a medical professional here. But that's what works for me. And other people like hearing from others as well. When I post those kind of on behalf of others, are always like, thank you for doing that. I just want to know what other people's experience have been with this.
A lot of times, even the medical professionals don't know for sure.
100%.
Exactly.
So we have to research and use anecdotal experiences.
Exactly.
And this is what the community was built on to begin with. And I think your posts are wonderful, Madeline.
Well, thank you. And I'm just now catching up on the comments. I see a lot of people in here that are live with us right now say they do take blood pressure medication and they've had no issues. So it really bothered me when this legislator who is bringing this ban bill to make it a Schedule 1 in Georgia says that it's a problem with blood pressure medication. Where is he getting that from?
Yeah, they should have to have their proof there. Just like we bring our science, they should bring wherever they're getting this information at. They should have to bring it too.
Yeah, if he's saying he gets this from a study, name the study.
Exactly. I want receipts. I want to know. He tells a story at the beginning about this guy who went from opiates to kratom, and now he's homeless. This whole sob story. Okay, where's the proof of this? I want to see the receipts of this. How do we know you're not making the story up?
Well, and even if the story is real, we don't know what issues this gentleman had prior to becoming an opioid addict, prior to using kratom to come off of it, prior to treatment to come off of kratom. And this is where I'll really get on my high horse. Becky, you remember this. I know you do. When so many of us first started with kratom, we kept hearing about this thing called PAWS, PAWS. Post-acute withdrawal syndrome.
Yes.
And it occurs in people when you quit taking an opioid, go cold turkey off an opioid, and go to kratom, and then quit taking kratom cold turkey. Sorry about the dog.
It's okay.
And you can suffer what is called post-acute withdrawal syndrome. Nobody's being educated about that anymore. It is a real thing. It doesn't happen to everyone, but it can happen. So did he experience PAWS? And that's what caused him to leave the rehab center and become homeless.
Right.
We don't know.
Don't know.
But if we were telling a story, we have to have proof.
Right.
Exactly.
And I always wonder about the ones that start it and take it a couple of days, they feel fine because it's plain beef tea, and think, okay, I'm okay now, and then just stop the kratom and not realize you're still getting rid of all that other stuff.
There's over the years, people do make these comments, not putting that together, but being that I've been at this a long time, all of y'all have here, that so many times somebody will step into the comments and say, it sounds like you're experiencing PAWS from your previous opiate use. It's because it is like some people say it takes years for that.
Yeah.
And Stephanie Sue, who joins us here once a week as a co-host, I think a few times on here, she said that she still gets PAWS or I know she's talked something about long-term PAWS with her. It's not like, oh, it goes away. Like I took
No.
opiates every day for 9
Right.
years in pain management. It's like, it'd be crazy for me to think, well, let me use Kratom for a short period of time and then just stop. Am I going to expect to not have some residual from all those opiates? That takes a long
Yeah.
time.
Mhm.
It took a
Because
lot.
kratom is only a partial agonist. So it only can fill so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Deborah
And there
Chapman,
again, it goes back to safe, responsible consumption of kratom by
right.
people. Start
Maybe
being
that's still
accountable,
Deborah.
people. Quit blaming a product when it's you making the mistakes.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yep.
But back to when we were talking about what that legislator said, Deborah Chesney makes a good point. What was that person using 7-OH that guy was
Yeah.
talking? We don't know.
Exactly.
He was
That's a
vague.
good question.
His story
Right.
was very vague. And there's no, I think when legislators are telling these anecdotal stories, there should be some kind of backup documentation. There should be some kind of, give us like when you go get something notarized, you get a document notarized so that a third party can prove that this is a real document. Well, what a legislator that wants to bring a bill, whatever it is in their city, their state, whatever, or federal, shouldn't they have to back up every single thing they say?
From my understanding, aren't we allowed to submit evidence or something in these meetings and like add to our testimony and give them like physical,
That's a good question.
printouts? And
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
so like if he's got like a news article or something to back up what he's saying, like if he submitted that, I wonder if we're allowed access to that kind of information.
Under the Freedom of Information Act, you sure are.
Yeah. Well, let's get back to this hearing where because he makes other claims as well. I just was like, we're stopping with the blood pressure one. Don't worry, there's another one. There's another one coming
Oh
that
boy.
we're going to talk about. So here we go.
There's
Let's
no
check it
professional
out.
help at the counter. There's not a pharmacist there to say, hey, you're on blood pressure medicine, Joe. Don't do that. You may work out every day, but you can't take it if you're on blood pressure meds. I'm sorry, kids now 30 years old are taking blood pressure meds just to prevent it. And so,
And 30 years old is not a kid.
It's gotten a little better with the new laws, regulations. I appreciate everybody who is enforcing it, who's trying to enforce it. It's gotten a little better, but not everybody's cleaned up their act. The bad actors, unfortunately, some of the manufacturers, not all of them, because a lot of them has cleaned up their act. And there's some in this room that's probably cleaned up their act. And I respect that and I appreciate that. But the ones that haven't, probably 30 to 40% of them who haven't cleaned up their act, they're saying, catch me if you can. Find me, whatever high misdemeanor is. I'm not going to do any jail time because I'm first offender, got a good lawyer. You can't come after me. Just find me. I've got the money to pay you off, and then we'll straighten up so I don't get a felony. And so that's got to change. And they've had years, over 20 years, to do research out there. Still not enough research out there. And so that's why
There's a lot of research. Where does he get that from?
And not only that, put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah. There's been,
you want research, fund it.
What's so interesting is why is it that they never talk about how the FDA did their single dose study? Like, why does that not get brought up? Although it was brought up somewhere recently, where which hearing? Again, there's too many of these. It's hard to keep up. But there was one where like they said that what was it? They said something that was not correct about the FDA. I don't remember what it was, but it's like there have been a lot of studies. McCurdy has mentioned on record that I believe he said something like that there's like about 1,000 different studies that have been done, and he's responsible for 10% of them.
You can go on PubMed, and I believe there's 1,600 kratom studies.
There's lots on PubMed. Go to PubMed.
PubMed archive, there's another 2,000 or 3,000.
I am so surprised by that because I thought the number was closer to 500 or 600, but maybe those are more recent studies, I guess. But that's a lot. That is a lot of science to back up what consumers are experiencing on Kratom.
Well, and some of those studies are not worth the paper.
Right.
Like one we came across, this study is based on articles that we have read and information we have gathered from other studies. That's not a study. Sorry, folks, you can't call it a study, but they do.
They do call it a study, but it's like a specific type of study, and I can't think.
It's actually a review, but they don't classify this one as a review. And it's like, I even called Jane's husband because he has told me I can reach out to him on stuff. And I called him and said, is this really a study? How do they get by with it? He said, no, it's not. It's a review. And it's not even a very well done one. Okay.
Interesting.
So the studies do have to be taken with a grain of salt, but they do exist.
Right. Right.
And anecdotal evidence that is thousands of years old has to account for something.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, because it's not been a problem in Southeast Asia.
Yeah. And they use it even more daily in stronger doses than we do.
Right.
We don't have the opportunity to go out and pick a whole leaf off a tree.
Right. Well, let's get back to this hearing, because it might have been this one where he discounts the FDA study as being, maybe it was him that said it'll come, because somebody had said recently in one of these hearings that the FDA study was funded by the industry, which is not true. All right, let's go back.
Bans necessary. I've got good people on the other side, friends that disagree, and I understand that and respect that. But it's one of those where we've got to keep Georgians safe. And you'll hear some people today give you accounts of what's happened. And I talked to a Marine. I'm not going to mention his name. And if he wants me to, next time I will. But he emailed all of us. And I called him back. He's a retired Marine. And he said, hey, Kratom's been good for me. And so I talked to him. I said, tell me how it's helped you. He talked about the natural leaf. He talked about how he's bought chemistry equipment to get the right dose for him. I mean, he's went all out and studied the chemistry of this drug. So let me ask you a question. If your neighbor Joe down the street goes to a local convenience store or vape shop and buys Kratom off the shelf, what are you going to do? I'm going to say, tell him don't take it, because he doesn't know what's in it. This guy's done research. He's put a lot of time and money to make sure what he's taking is safe. So how do we protect those people? He wasn't sure. And him and I talked together. I mean, I understand that. I do. That's the problem. I understand that. We've got people out there taking things. I called it a wild, wild west last time. Dr. Lopez from Georgia Poison Control, he was ahead of it, still is, and he couldn't make it today, but someone else is here from Georgia Poison Control. He called it Russian roulette. You grab the right bottle, you'll be okay. You grab the wrong bottle, you may not be okay.
Okay, but who's responsible for that? It should be the government.
Right.
Exactly. That's regulation, and that's them failing in regulating that product.
And they don't take responsibility for it.
No.
And that's what drives me nuts with this.
Part of that is put a KCPA in place that has teeth to it. You're worried about a product, then regulate it properly with teeth of enforcement.
Yeah. Agreed.
I don't think Georgia has even decided who's supposed to regulate it and be in charge of that.
Yeah, they haven't. They even said in the hearing that there's no enforcement happening.
Right.
I was going to say they addressed that specific thing in the meeting.
No.
Like we can't do this. There's too many, Yeah, it feels redundant. Kind of,
exactly. Enforce it, and let's see how that goes first. I mean, because it makes me so mad.
Well, and when they say they don't have money for enforcement of the regulation, how are you going to enforce the ban?
Right.
Good point.
Yeah, they may not be able to walk in off the street and buy it at a shop, but they can still get it shipped. They can go across state lines and get it. That makes no sense.
Exactly.
And I think somebody mentioned that as well in the Georgia meeting too.
Did they?
Yep, talked about how you can go across state
Oh,
lines and
she
get
did that, lady. Yep.
fireworks, and then over here
Oh,
you can get
yeah.
kratom. But like,
You're
and
right.
and like we've talked about that on the show here before too, like just how silly it is that just, crossing a line on the dirt drastically changes your
Yeah.
outcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marshall
that's
Price and
yeah.
Shayna Brown. Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Especially Shayna Brown, who crossed the imaginary state line and gets pulled over. Like that
That's
whole story is
insane.
insane. Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's crazy.
Yep.
Absolutely crazy. Let's get back to there's still a lot of this. Like, I don't know how much time. I mean, if y'all are down for staying longer, we can, because there's a lot to unpack here. But let me bring this. Let me see if I can get this back up and play for y'all. There we go. Okay.
And there's documentation of that. That's the problem. So I'm going to say ban it. Some people will say, hey, why don't you just put it behind a pharmacy counter? Well, that's better than nothing. Or get it more strict. But if you want to restrict it, if you want to make it safe till we get some more research out there, ban it. Even if you have to put a sunset on it, ban it. That's the only way to make it safe for Georgia. And so I could talk more. There's a lot of people behind me. I'll have more research from Georgia tomorrow. Dr. Norton apologized because of the ice storm. He didn't finish up his study on some of the research that's out there now. And he wanted to give you an update, I think, on what he was doing too at University of Georgia Pharmacy School. But I do commend UGA, and I know they do a lot of research in Florida for the kratom industry there, but they do have some nice studies there as well. Some of them are limited. I'll tell you one study I read that was sent to me by some kratom friends. I'm going to say friends because you're all in this professional atmosphere, right? And they sent it to me, but it started off with a larger study. 6 or 7 got eliminated right away because they had bad reactions. A few more got kicked off because of the medications they were taking.
I want to
They
see
wanted
this.
10 healthy individuals that the kratom leaf was safe for.
Me too.
So
For real. I'm going to look
12
it up.
kratom leaves was safe for those 10 individuals out of the 18 to 24. I think that was part of the study. I have to get those exact numbers for you.
The FDA
What
has
were the
those exact
requirements?
numbers for you, right?
Yeah, what were the requirements for this study?
Do they have to provide that? Like when he's saying this stuff, he says he's going to provide, but like, is it not required that they don't have to provide this
For
kind of
real.
documentation when they're making? Because I mean, this is the person who is introducing the ban bill. He wrote the ban bill. He's the one introducing it here right now in the hearing this past earlier this week in Georgia. Like they could say all
If
kinds
he's
of things.
quoting it, he should have to provide it, if I remember correctly.
I would sure like to see it.
Yeah.
Because
Um,
even if it's in the anecdotal notes and stuff, it's
Right.
supposed to be provided.
Right. I think he is the one I think he's going down the road where he is going to say the FDA. Maybe it was him that says the FDA one was paid by industry. Let's keep going.
To me, that's not a good, valid study. We need a larger study than that. So I appreciate your help, appreciate your time. I'm glad to answer more questions. Like I said, I can go on for 10 more, 30 more, 20 more minutes, but
Oh,
I
he
think I
does.
better stop here and answer more questions. But thank you again.
Thank you, Representative. Just one question, because I don't do a lot of work in this area. You're proposing to add this to make it a Schedule 1 controlled substance, correct?
Alabama does that, correct? And some other states do that as well. And it's my understanding that that's what we tried for last time. We fell a little bit short of that, but that's what we'll be going for again. And it's a way where if there's a way, I don't think you can schedule it where we try to we got to watch out for the consumer so they don't get tagged with the felony or whatever else. I understand that, but I don't think there's a way to do that without. I mean, we have to schedule it.
So see, he doesn't care about people that voted him into office because he's admitting right now it's got to be Schedule 1, even though consumers
Yeah.
are going to be criminalized. He doesn't. I wish. Okay, when we were watching this the other day, I wish. And shout out to Venus for getting me the link. So she sent me the link, and I sent it to others. So Becca, that's how you got it from me because I got it from Venus. It was like a whole chain there. But that part pissed me off so bad. If I lived in Georgia and had to listen to that BS, oh my God, I'd probably be calling him every day and just bugging the shit out of him because that's he doesn't care about people. He's there because of the people.
I want to be his friend because he's doing this for his friends. So if I'm his friend, does that mean he won't do it?
Right.
Yeah, he was out there. I was so mad. I was like, yeah, like he literally point blank said it. Like he does. I mean, pretty much he doesn't care.
Yeah, it was very clear to me he doesn't care. I mean, the way he just said that.
Yeah.
And this Q&A goes for a while. I mean, there's still quite a bit more that he talks about, but it's shocking. That's why I want to play all this before, because Bob Durkin is so great. I can't wait for y'all to hear his testimony for people that haven't seen this yet. But let's keep going, because it's the things that come out of this guy's mouth. That right there to me was incredibly shocking.
In other words, I think that's the only way to be able to ban it.
And just my understanding, that's why I want to grab the code. A Schedule 1 is drug or substance has a high potential for abuse, no currently accepted medical use in treatment in the United States, and there's a lack of accepted safety for use of the drug or other substance under medical supervision.
Correct. And the key there is considered a substance, but FDA, any of your major resource organizations, Mayo, Cleveland Clinic, all those will tell you the same thing. No, it's not safe. It's a drug of concern, of course. I know that.
Isn't Mayo Clinic the one that did not actually do a study? Isn't that the one that
Yes,
they
it is.
copied somebody else's study, right?
Yes.
So he's citing Mayo Clinic, which is not even correct. I mean, somebody needs to go back and count how many pieces of misinformation he spewed, because it's just one after another after another. It's crazy.
Feds talk about.
It'd be easier
banning
finding out what he
steroids
was
and,
saying that was true, because it's so
policy
small.
narcotics, that's a good
Yeah.
start. So they're doing that, but overall, yeah, and it's just yeah. So that's kind of where it's at now.
So I'm assuming by putting it in Schedule 1, and I don't exactly know what the full impact of that is, or are you, if it says it has no currently accepted medical use, then this is not, it's not a matter of making this where you have to get a prescription for it. It'd just be basically banned.
Correct. It'd be easy if you can just get a prescription for it. That'd be nice. But from my understanding, FDA doesn't count it as a medical supplement. Unfortunately, when you hear people testify today or talk about it, it talks about it, it helps them medically or whatever else. They can't call it when they sell it a medical substance. It's just called a substance. And so there's no
it's
recognized.
not something that could be really, there's not enough data, and it's not capable of currently being prescribed or
Unfortunately not.
Applied by a medical doctor.
Correct. And you can't, right now, there's not. If there is, I don't know about it. I've checked with Ledge Council. I've checked with industry people and some other professionals who are on the other side of the table from me on this issue, and I respect that. And right now, I don't see that as a stopgate. Really, the only thing left is to really have to crank up the regulation piece where it's at now to make it better than what it is now, such as I talked about before, and really striking those penalties. We're just finding too many manufacturers willing. We thought the high misdemeanor first offense would catch their attention. Well, it did some of them. Great. They're good. They're good actors. They're playing by the rules. They're playing by the laws. Unfortunately, there's a lot of bad actors out there. They're not playing by the rules.
If they have bad actors, ban them completely.
Right. So that's his rationale.
Yeah.
We're just going to ban it all because there's a few bad actors. We're almost done with this part, and then we're going to move on, because this part to me was just also shocking. Like, it's a few bad actors, but because of them, instead of let's clean up the industry and get those bad actors out. And AKA is always very vocal about how they work hard to get the bad actors out, to call them out, send their info to the FDA. If you get the bad actors out, then there shouldn't be. He just said they're good actors in the industry.
Right.
He just said it.
The majority of the industry is good actors.
He just admitted it. We're almost done with this, and we can
1,000 or 100,000. They could care
So
less.
that's the reason for the Schedule 1 you're proposing to put
It
on
is.
Schedule 1.
It is. It's one of those where I probably shouldn't say this in the beginning, but even if we did a sunset on it to allow more research, 3 or 5 years, to make us do that research in the next 3 to 5 years, or put the onus on the manufacturers to pay institutions like University of Florida or Georgia or someplace like that to do that, where it's reliable and valid, and it could be proven not to be skewed toward who pays for the research. That's the issue, because every now and then you get somebody pay for the research. Well, let me get this research. We know which way it wants to go. But luckily, two of the leading people I know are at least valid and reliable. We want to make sure it's a valid, reliable study.
All right. I think we got a question, Representative.
All right, so we're going to stop here. That was the bulk of what I wanted everybody to see, but some of the stuff out of him. It's ridiculous.
What's the sunset? What? Because I was wondering what that meant. Do y'all know?
So basically putting it off. Like the other guy was like, why don't we sunset? Like, let's put this off a while. Like, because let's get more studies. Let's rely on the studies. Like that guy's trying to rationalize like this, because I mean, Schedule 1's a big deal. It means no research. It means you criminalize people that are possessing it, which would make everyday kratom consumers a felon, right? If they're caught with it. It's a big deal. You definitely don't want those legislators taking that lightly.
Yeah.
And so he's just trying to rationalize, but they also act like two buddies just having a chit chat in front of a whole audience about this too, like as if they already made up their minds. Because it seems like it almost feels like they're putting on a show. Like let's talk like, yeah, we've I mean, the guy presenting doesn't feel bad. He's very clearly doesn't feel bad about let's criminalize this.
Yeah.
It's sad that this is what they want to resort to. And there were other speakers. We don't have time to I mean, there was a lot of stuff. We're going to zoom way ahead because Bob Durkin, who was always awesome, I love hearing him speak. He put out excellent tests, because we got to hear some positive stuff now. So we're going to get that from good old Bob Durkin, who has a very impressive background. He's going to share that in just a moment. So let's play him.
I like it when they put the positive people at the end too. It makes me feel a little bit better.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate being here. My name is Bob Durkin. My background, I'm a pharmacist with a master's in molecular biology. I was a captain in the Army for 6 years, residency trained at Walter Reed in clinical nuclear pharmacy. I'm an attorney. I practice in the food and drug space. I'm on-site counsel to the AKA, various dietary supplement manufacturers and distributors, including those that manufacture and distribute kratom products. I was also for 12 years lucky enough to work at the Food and Drug Administration. I started off in the Center for Drugs, where I learned how to regulate unapproved new drugs, compounded drugs. Made my way over to the food program, where I spent 6 years as the deputy director for the Office of Dietary Supplement Programs. So I was the number 2 person in charge of dietary supplement regulation for 6 years at the federal level. I'm here today to offer my advice, my opinions, answer questions relative as a former regulator who understands how food is regulated in the United States. I think a lot of this is confusion about what kratom is and kratom isn't. And we've heard some things here today, and I'm benefiting from going last. It's horrible to go last because you hear some really sad stories, and as a dad, you don't know how to handle that. So I think it's real important to say what kratom is and what kratom isn't. If kratom is marketed as a drug, it's illegal. Bust it, get it off the streets. If kratom's marketed as a dietary supplement or a food, there is a pathway for it to legally be on the market in the United States. It doesn't require clinical control, double-blind studies, placebo-controlled studies. Food goes to market unapproved in the United States. Drugs require approval. Food can go to market with animal studies, history of use, clinical studies if they exist, but they're certainly not required because you're not selling a drug, you're selling a food. Kratom is a botanical out of Southeast Asia. It's been used for hundreds of years as a natural wellness, a pick-me-up. Legend has it was brought back by our Vietnam vets in the 60s and 70s, became popular in the United States in the early 2000s. One of the ways it became popular in the United States was there was an incident in Sweden in 2010 where kratom leaf killed 9 people. The other pharmacist in the room mentioned tramadol. An investigation into that by the Swedes discovered that kratom was contaminated with methatramadol, the active metabolite of the drug tramadol, and that's what ate their livers and killed them. It wasn't the kratom leaf. But that's where the die was cast for the FDA and its position on kratom and how they were going to approach it. From there, you had import alerts. Myself, when I was in charge in 2015, authorized the seizure of kratom based on the information I have. In hindsight now, that probably wasn't the best decision because there is a good body of science out there about the safety of kratom. Companies have satisfied the pre-market responsibilities of the Food and Drug Administration by filing at least 7 new dietary ingredient notifications to the Food and Drug Administration. This is where a manufacturer or distributor puts together information about their manufacturing to show that they can make it the right way. They put together information about the safety of the product to show that it's reasonably expected to be safe the way they manufacture it and sell it. Kratom is a botanical. The word kratom has come to include so many things: the leaf, the ground leaf, an extract taken from that leaf. Unfortunately, now it's also come to include things like 7-hydroxymetragenine, pseudoindoxyl, and other metabolites. We talked a lot about habit and addiction, and that is a very complicated science. There are other experts that can counsel on that, but I'm pretty sure I have a habit for coffee or addicted to coffee. Today, when I went to your commissary and there was no coffee at noon, I panicked a little. And I'm not making light of anything, but it's a very complicated spectrum of science. You know, to draw the analogy of what's happened to Kratom, you could take a coffee bean, you could grind it up. That's a crushed coffee bean. You can make an extract of it. We call that a pot of coffee. That pot of coffee contains caffeine. If somebody were to pull that caffeine out of the pot of coffee and chemically alter it, usually with pool chemicals, pool chemicals, and turn it into something different, that's what 7-hydroxymetragenine is. Folks are then taking that 7-hydroxymetragenine and selling it, sometimes calling it 7-hydroxy, sometimes calling it something else, sometimes calling it Kratom. 7-hydroxymetragenine is not found naturally in the leaf. It only develops in the leaf after the leaf is plucked from the tree, and metragenine oxidizes into 7-hydroxy. A very, very small amount of 7-hydroxy is in the leaf because of that oxidation process. When you eat Kratom, when you eat a Kratom leaf, or when you ingest metragenine, the primary alkaloid from Kratom, your liver metabolizes it into a lot of things, one of which is 7-hydroxymetragenine. That's the way your body works. You ingest things, it metabolizes them into things it knows how to excrete or get out. 7-hydroxymetragenine is 15 times more potent than opium, 15 times more potent than morphine. It attaches to the mu opioid receptor and does not let go like other drugs do. In addition to that, the ER surgeon, he might be gone now, mentioned how complicated the pharmacology is. He was talking about 7-hydroxymetragenine. It attaches to so many different receptors in the brain, you can't even keep track of it. So I think right now what you have is a problem where you're regulating and you have a choice to ban. My experience is that when you ban something, you drive it into the shadows. You drive it to the lowest common denominator. It's not going to go away. It's going to be in your cities, in your state. It's going to come in from out of state. People are going to find a way to sell it because they make money on it. What's going to happen is quality is going to drop. It's not going to be made the right way. It's not going to be labeled the right way. You're going to go back to the days when Kratom was sold in baggies with Sharpie marker on it about what it was. People are going to get sick. People are going to die. There are no conditions for use. You're better off regulating it and controlling it. I don't think you have a regulation problem. I think you have an enforcement problem. You've already made it illegal to sell 7-hydroxymetragenine. You've already made it illegal to sell Kratom that has more than 150 milligrams of metragenine in a serving. It seems like you just need to enforce it. As far as the proposed ban or scheduling, DEA looked at scheduling Kratom, not actually Kratom, metragenine and 7-hydroxymetragenine twice. It failed twice. Right now, on July 29th, the Food and Drug Administration, Secretary Kennedy and Commissioner McKay stood on a podium with the DEA administrator and announced they were going to schedule 7-hydroxy. It was profound. Nothing like has ever happened in American health history. It's remarkable. They pointed to a chart with waves of the heroin epidemic and how it's transitioned from different drugs. And they pointed to a cross line on the chart where we were coming down from fentanyl and we're going up for 7-hydroxy. And they said, this is where we're at in time and we're going to stop it. Right now, you have a 7-hydroxy problem. You have a pseudoindoxyl problem. You have the next IT problem. If you're going to ban something, you could probably do what's called an 8-factor or 7-factor analysis. You found it in your code of regulations there, and it looks at different factors. And those factors are what decides when something gets put into a schedule. They're very complicated factors. If you want a 7-factor, 8-factor analysis on 7-hydroxy, I'll get it to you. If you want a 7-factor, 8-factor analysis on metragenine, I'll get it to you. If you want one on Kratom leaf, I'll get it to you. I strongly encourage you to schedule 7-hydroxy and the other metabolites, but I strongly encourage you to regulate Kratom and enforce against the bad players while giving consumers an opportunity to choose and buy good products.
So when you say regulate Kratom, are you talking about metragenine, or is that another? What's the
It's
word?
an alkaloid.
Metabolite?
It's an alkaloid. So the other pharmacist mentioned that there's 42 alkaloids. Might even be more than that now.
Which means what?
An alkaloid is a molecule with a nitrogenous base and then a structure from there, and they're all kind of similar.
So is that something your body creates as a result of something else?
No, it's something, well, yes, but it's also something that your body pulls out of Kratom. There are about 42 of them in the Kratom leaf. Sort of like caffeine's not the only thing in coffee, but it's what we all want. The alkaloids are the things in Kratom that give the effect that you were asking about, the general wellness, the anti-anxiety, the pick-me-up. A lot of people use Kratom to replace coffee. A lot of people use Kratom for mild pain. Some people reportedly use Kratom as managed withdrawal from drugs. I don't understand that. That science is beyond me. Addiction science is very, very complicated. So to answer your question, metragenine is the primary alkaloid in kratom. It makes up about 65% of the alkaloid profile. What folks have learned to do over time is to take the kratom leaf and do an extraction of the kratom leaf to isolate those alkaloids, because that's what gives you the sensations, the benefits that you asked about. And they sell those as a kratom extract. Both of those qualify as dietary ingredients under the Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act, Section 201 FF1, a botanical other herb or a constituent metabolite of a botanical other herb. So kratom is a dietary ingredient, and an extract of kratom is a dietary ingredient that based on other parts of the regulation, can legally be sold without FDA approval.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Any questions?
I went really quick there. I'm sorry. I'm nervous and I wasn't sure how much
No,
time I'd have.
we appreciate quick. Representative Neal.
Thank you to the chair. And so, yeah, just to make some general comments, like I know we've debated this ad nauseum prior to today. He's smiling over there. And literally almost rewrote this bill in the prior version that has already passed. And I thought, to your point, we'd already addressed a lot of the issues, and we just need to enforce those issues, because we want to be careful, especially in this committee and a few others, where we, because we had a lot of testimony of how this helps so many people.
Yeah.
But then on one side, those that abuse it, us trying to schedule a certain way for people that, have some type of addiction, and ignore the people that have demonstrated how this has helped them in a way when they are responsible with using it. So I just wanted to make that statement, but thank you for coming today.
No, ma'am, it's a good point. And your bill right now, it's pretty good. I mean, you limit the amount of metragenine. You're not allowed to have 7-OH or metabolites. If you wanted to schedule or ban 7-hydroxy, I would suggest you do it on a parts per million basis. It was one of the things that was being wrestled with here with one of the other witnesses. How would you schedule it? The state of Florida scheduled it based on parts per million. They said 400 parts per million on dry weight. Anything that has over that is considered 7-hydroxy and is scheduled. That's based in pretty good science. 400 might be a little bit too low of a number. The dry weight basis is a good idea, but you can certainly schedule 7-hydroxy in an effective way. Florida's done it.
Charlie Cooper.
Okay. I'm not a lawyer, but I do want to say, isn't it true? I get to play a lawyer. Isn't it true that when you say, oh, well, this can be, it's just a food substance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the FDA doesn't regulate it. We have had trouble over the last 30, 40 years with concerns about vitamins and all sorts of things that are labeled at foods for whatever reason, but that do have harmful side effects.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So just saying that just because this one can be, labeled a food, it doesn't have harmful effects. And that's getting into a real iffy.
It is. I can give you a good example. If I sell an orange and I sell you that orange for its vitamin C content, buy Bob's Orange, it's high in vitamin C. Now that I've sold that vitamin C like that, vitamin C is a food. If I sell you a product and I say this has 500 milligrams of vitamin C, it's going to support your immune system, I just sold a dietary supplement. If I sell you vitamin C to prevent or cure scurvy, I just sold you a drug. So a lot of what the it is, and a lot about how the it is regulated, is based on the objective intent
Semantics
of the party putting in commerce. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I would say it's based less on intent as on an objective representation about what it will do.
Right.
I think you're right, and it's the objective representation of that intent on the label and labeling. What do they say about the product? What's the deal being made?
Right. Yeah, what my representation about it determines how it's classified,
Yes, sir.
and then it determines the regulatory
Exactly.
structure, at least at the federal level. I'm assuming is what you're talking about primarily.
I'd have to look at Georgia, but it's probably pretty close. A lot of states have incorporated the Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act in part or in full. So it's likely Georgia does it pretty similar.
Okay. Any other questions of this witness? All right. Thank you so much for your testimony. Appreciate it. All right, Jenifer Martin.
I'm gonna stop for a minute. We'll watch
He did
Jenifer.
great.
We'll watch Jenifer again, but we got to unpack Bob Durkin. I mean, who better than somebody who used to be at the FDA to be doing all that talking?
I'm so glad I had him. He was right beside me, and he was actually nervous because I told him I got introduced to him by the the lobbyists. And yeah, and he was like, "How are you?" And I was like, "Good, I'm nervous." And he whispered, he was like, "Me too," before it all started. But I was so thankful for him. But sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're, but
It's something that Bob said that keeps tripping in my mind. You want to schedule it as a drug, but it's a food. If we can get a solid classification that kratom is a food, then how can it suffer drug penalties?
And didn't Kava just do that? Didn't that just happen with Kava?
Well, they're working on getting kava
They just
grass status, generally recognized as safe status.
Yeah.
But it's like, you're saying it's food. Even the FDA says it's food. Then how can these states say it's a drug and we're banning it?
Right.
That's such a good point. Such a good point.
And that's why it's important for us to educate ourselves and have these discussions. We're all learning a lot from this today. And that's why instead of playing a gazillion news videos about kratom today, it's like, let's focus on what's going on in Georgia, because these people decide the law that affects millions of people in the state of Georgia. And even though this is still early on in a process to possibly ban kratom and make it Schedule 1, is listening to what they say and how they say it is so important.
Absolutely.
And we've learned a lot
agree.
in these 2 hours listening to like what they're saying and how they're doing this and how they're approaching it.
Yeah, definitely, because a lot of them are saying these same things.
Yeah. Yeah. And around the country, not only that, Venus, they're watching this in other cities and states. And because they all keep throwing out the same talking points. Look how many times the Mayo Clinic gets brought up. And it's not even like a study they did, right? But they love to bring that up. Or they'll make a reference about, because the other guy mentioned Alabama. Well, Alabama has it Schedule 1.
Right.
They're always
well, and if they want to start quoting facts, why not quote APA? They put kratom in the herbal handbook as a safe substance. Come on, folks. Everybody loves APA, American Herbal Products Association.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
They're kind of the end all be all of kratom, of botanical regulation and safety. They have now included kratom in their handbook. That says that it's a pretty good substance.
I don't know why
That's
we don't
huge.
hear that more often.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that's something that needs hammered. You take a vitamin, guess what? APA's got it in there. You take kratom, APA's got it in there too.
Yeah. I like that. Jenifer, are you able to stay a little bit longer? Because we can play your testimony again, and then I want you to talk to everyone. I'm going to play it real quick. So we're going to watch for those that weren't here earlier when they played it the first time, because we played it about an hour ago. I'm going to play it again because Jenifer went on right after Bob Durkin. And we just weren't sure how long Jenifer could stay. So that's why I played it earlier, just in case she had to leave. But since you can stay, let me play it again. And then we'll talk about it. And then also have you talk about what it was like to be just an everyday kratom consumer who went to the state house to speak out. And you were the only consumer who was there. So, and what can we do to get more consumers? But let's continue on because you're next in line. And not everybody's seen this yet.
Good afternoon.
Fellow Georgians. Hope everyone is well. I wrote everything down. I hope that's okay. I'm nervous Nancy right now. So, but good afternoon and thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is Jen. I'm a mother, a person in long-term recovery, and someone whose life was saved by natural kratom leaf. In 2006, I was prescribed opiate pain medication by my doctor, was started as a legitimate treatment, slowly turned into addiction, and eventually escalated into illegal opioids, including fentanyl. I lost everything, and most painfully, I lost my husband to fentanyl. After his death, I entered recovery treatment, and that's when I found natural kratom leaf. I have been clean for almost 4 years. I have my kids back. I've held the same job for 4 years, which that was impossible for me to do before. And I'm in school working towards my master's in psychology to become a substance abuse counselor. This comes from the natural kratom plant, not the extracts, not the concentrates, not the synthetic or high potency products like 7-OH that we've heard so many horror stories today about. Plain kratom leaf does not intoxicate me or impair me. It helped me stay in recovery and rebuild my life. People deserve the right to access a natural, plant-based alternative that helps them stay alive and in recovery, especially when the alternative is returning to the illicit drug market, which is very dangerous right now. It's critical to understand that natural kratom leaf is not the same as high-potency, chemically altered, or synthetic kratom products. Treating the same is a big mistake, and many people in recovery, including myself, actively avoid those products because of their risk. Georgia already has the Kratom Consumer Protection Act in place, which includes age limits, product testing, and labeling requirements. Those protections are working and they should remain in place. What I do not support is criminalizing a natural plant that helps people like me survive while dangerous high potency products are either lumped together or allowed to drive policy. If there is to be a ban, it should be narrowly focused on high potency synthetic or isolated products, not on the natural kratom leaf that has already been responsibly regulated and helps so many people like me stay alive and in recovery. Yeah. And I was going to say, so Florida banned 7-OH and they have left, the natural plant alone. 7-OH has ruined everything. All the sad stories that we heard in this room today is because of 7-OH. But, it's just, I'm asking that you guys just leave the raw powder alone, but thank you so much for letting me talk.
Thank you. Do we have any questions? For Ms. I'm sorry.
That was amazing.
I didn't have any questions.
Thank you.
I choked up there at the end, but I was just, I'm so glad Mr. Durkin went before me, but yeah.
You were great. I wish they had questions for you because, you're the consumer and it would have been awesome.
Right.
Would have been awesome for them to say, I do have a question for you.
I had a question for almost everyone.
Well, I think they're probably tired at that point because when you spoke, y'all were at this point, y'all were 2.5 hours in to this hearing. So it probably, and they still had more, you were close to the end. There was several speakers after you, and then they wrapped up. The good news is they did not make a decision that day.
Yeah.
Which means they'll reconvene again at some point. And just to be clear for people that don't understand the process, is a subcommittee hearing in the Georgia House. Even if they had approved this as a bill, it still has it has a whole process. It wouldn't be like it has, it's just one step in many, because it has you got to go to the House floor next. And then you'd have to go to the Senate and go to a committee, and then the House, and then the governor. It's a whole process, and it could get stopped anywhere along the way.
Yeah, see, I don't know anything about any of that, and that's where I learned so much from you guys.
And the whole process needs us all there too. We need a lot more people there with you, Jen.
Yes.
Yeah, we're all so proud of you, and hopefully more Kratom consumers will go to the next one. Do we know when the next one is? I think I heard maybe it's next week. They're going to have another hearing. Is that right? Is that right?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
I don't know positively, and I should, but I don't. I apologize.
Oh, that's okay. I don't remember.
I'm gonna have to find out. I can, I have the lobbyist. I forget his name. He went and spoke. Because he texted me because I had to call him when I got there because the KCA Kratom Consumer the
KDA.
Yes, sorry. They were with him or whatever, and they told me to call when I got there to find him when I got there. But he texted me, he said he'll be in touch. So, I didn't. Yeah, I told him.
I would stay in touch with the lobbyist that was there. And whenever you this is definitely, first of all, we got to get more people advocating. We got to get more people speaking. And whenever you are paired with a lobbyist, stay in touch, get their contact info and stay in touch with them,
Yeah.
because they can definitely be a point person for you. But my question for Robin, the expert here on the panel, Robin, how do we get more Jenifers there next time? She was the only one. How do we get more people in the state of Georgia to show? And this is in Atlanta, right? Is that where this was, in Atlanta?
Yes, it's in
So you're in the
Atlanta.
big city. You're in the big city, right? How can we get more people in Atlanta to go to the House and speak out at the next hearing?
I think the biggest thing we can do is every one of us reach out to whoever your vendor is or vendors are. Ask them, do you know about this? Are you spreading the word? Are you asking your consumers to make an appearance or to do something? Short of that, reaching out to the local shops. Now, do you guys know this is going on? You could lose your business. Why aren't you there?
For real. Good idea.
That is
I
a
like
great
that.
idea.
And you can always, I don't care if they sign up. I mean, yes, we would prefer they sign up with us. I'll say that. But I don't care if they sign up with GKC, AKA, or someone else. Get signed up so you have information, so that you have a support team, so that you know the process and have the process laid out that will help you do this even more.
Yeah.
I got the link on the screen there. Go to botanicalae.org. That's Robin's group. Go ahead, Jenifer. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. And I just remember, because there is 2 kava shops. Because in Florida, they're everywhere, on every corner.
Right.
You know, I lived in Florida for a while before moving back to Georgia. But when I moved to Georgia, I wanted to check out the kava shops here. I think there's only like 2 out of the whole state of Georgia. Or at least 2 within an hour of me. But that's a good idea, because no one, like when in Florida, when they had a hearing, everybody showed up. All the kava shops showed up, and you know, they're making videos and stuff, posting on Instagram, you know, representing the Kratom community and stuff, all against 7-OH. But that's a good question. I think one of these days I'm going to go up here and talk to these kava shops. You
Right.
know?
And even your local smoke shops and retail shops, anybody you can find that sells Kratom.
Yeah.
Do you know what's happening in your state? Do you know what could happen to your business?
Good idea,
Yeah,
Robin.
and they need to give something to everybody that they're giving the Kratom to, needs to have something that tells them that.
Right, because so many of them can't really speak on the benefits of Kratom. We can.
Yeah.
Point them out to an advocate and say, hey, go talk to these guys. They can give you the information to give to your consumers when they want to know more.
Exactly.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to, you know, even if I can't make it up there, I'll email them, you know, and hey, like, you know, what's going on? Like, you know, we need you. We need you. Like, yeah, I haven't met the owners or anything up there. But, you know, in Florida, there were a lot of really awesome owners that were huge advocates, you know. So, but good idea.
Oh, it's like a whole network of them in Florida.
Oh, yeah.
And when it was under attack a year ago, they were there in droves at the Capitol. It was wild, because we were watching those hearings, and it was amazing to see them come together. They were very organized, because the way that ban bill was written, it would have put all the kava bars out of business. They had some crazy restrictions. Basically, the way it was written, the kava bars wouldn't even be able to make Kratom drinks there in their stores, because the way it was written, they would have to test every batch that was homemade and brewed there on site, which was crazy. That'd be, somebody said that would be like testing every pot of coffee in your shop
that you make. Right. Well, and with Georgia trying to go for a Schedule 1, that means kava shops cannot sell Kratom tea, and that is a huge part and parcel of what they do. It's kava and Kratom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm curious what was said at the end by the, you know, like what did they decide on? I still don't
Let
even know.
me get, I mean, they basically just said that they weren't going to do a vote. Let me go pull it back up.
Didn't they
go-
just say they were going to table it for now and
Yeah, something like
open it for further discussion or something?
I'll play
Right.
the end, but the guy who brought the bill is back on at the end. So yeah, let me play
Why
this.
it's marketed. I mean, that's why people take it, and that's why manufacturers sell it. When they take
To get further.
All right. Anybody else? Then, because we've got to do something. If it's not a ban, we have to do something to make it minimally, of course, 7OH, but even more than that, to restrict it, to make sure it's safe in those dosages and everything else for Georgians. And that's what we have to do. You heard that. I mean, I can bring in more. I mean, Georgia Poison Control Guide. You want his written testimony? You couldn't get more powerful than that. I mean, that's from a guy who operates out of Grady. He works at Grady. He sees a lot of different people. And at Georgia Poison Control, that's pretty strong testimony. So, and the ones who weren't here for that, we need to clip it for you so you can watch it. And others who testified as well, the Davenports, the Easoms, and everything that's happened. And our guy from Brantley County, local judge, it affects all of us. All right, thank you, sir.
Like I said, enforce the regulation you already have. Quit trying for a ban.
All
Right.
Exactly.
Given some of the issues we mentioned at the end, I think we're going to let this be a hearing. The chairman can bring it up if he desires to in committee, but I think for now on the subcommittee, we'll treat this just as a hearing only. I think we need some more discussion about the impact of this.
Oops.
So
Sorry, press the wrong button.
Moving.
That's good news that they just put it off.
Anybody else?
The other thing that needs to be done, and I hope the lobbyist is working on it, is a financial impact statement for the state of Georgia as to what's going to happen if Kratom is banned.
True.
That can provide some really powerful information if they suddenly find out that they're going to lose $60 million a year in revenue.
Right, right.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's something that more states should do.
Yes.
For sure.
Well, but you know what's interesting with that? So here in Texas, hemp has been under attack, right? It's okay for now, but that was a big thing that was brought to the state's attention, is the crazy amount of money that would be lost in revenue by putting every hemp every smoke shop that's like anything hemp related out of business. And apparently here in Texas, it's like big business. And the state didn't even care. They did not care about the revenue that would be lost. And I was shocked.
They don't care now.
They didn't care.
They would.
They would be later.
Like that.
Well, it was a very political. The whole thing was real political, and it was really just this lieutenant governor. Like it was like the lieutenant governor's pet project, and we're sure everybody was sure he was being paid off by big alcohol and big marijuana or cannabis or whatever. But because he was so hell bent, and the governor ended up vetoing it, and I'm like, yay! But
yeah,
I remember like. Because a company that I used to buy CBD products from is here in Texas, and they're like one of the ones leading the charge to like prevent that ban. So they were always putting out videos and talking about it. And yeah, it was so interesting when he talked about how the revenue lost and the job, and not that the job loss. Like I think they said like 50,000 jobs would be lost in the state of Texas.
That should always be part of a financial impact statement.
They didn't care. They did not care. And I'm like, oh my God, you don't care about 50,000 Texans you're going to put out of work. They're not going to be voting for any of you all.
Right.
But he seemed to me to change his tone there at the end. Do y'all think like? It seemed like after all that he shifted to well, if there's not going to be a ban, there needs to be some like something in place,
I think that was kind of a way for him to save face with his constituents. See, I tried. They just don't want to hear me. So maybe we have to settle for just part of a success rather than the whole thing.
Right.
So it wasn't just me. He did sound like that, right?
Yeah.
Good.
He's acknowledging in his own way that he doesn't think the bill is going to pass through.
Yeah.
As is.
I mean, and there's a difference between the 7OH and Kratom the natural kratom leaf, and all the sad stories that was said in that room today, which they were very sad, and they were hard.
Right.
I felt it, but they were not from kratom. They were talking about 7-OH, like that girl she said her husband was highly addicted, and I mean she wants her husband back. It said that it sounded like she was going through, or I mean, he was going through a full-blown addiction,
Right.
addiction, and that you don't get that from kratom. She was saying he's spending all the money up, and all this stuff. That's from 7-OH. I mean, it's insanely expensive, and it's highly addictive, and you cannot function without it.
Well,
But
and something that I noticed that Bob Durkin said is the 7-OH attaches to the mu opioid receptor and doesn't let go. Aside from that,
wow.
people want to talk about so many people overdose on kratom. Well, it's not an opioid overdose, because guess what? Narcan doesn't touch kratom.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good
good
point.
And so again, those were the two things I took from Bob's talk: is Narcan doesn't work on what we're fighting for, the pure leaf kratom. And if it's a food, it can't be banned and treated as a drug.
And I mean, he's like the best expert. Look at his background, look at his experience, look at the whole big picture with him. He was the smartest guy in the room. And I'm not just saying that because he was pro kratom.
Right.
But I mean,
he's one of those we don't want against us.
Right.
Right.
But when he talked about how his time at the FDA, and he says, I was doing, what at the time the evidence showed me, but now he knows better, and because he's been educated on this. And that was huge, I thought, for him to make an admission like that, especially somebody at the FDA, because we know how much the FDA people, especially the people who have been there a long time, are so anti-kratom, and they won't let it go.
Right.
Yeah.
And apparently he was one of them. But he now sees that this is not dangerous.
Yeah. The kratom industry and consumers are the only ones to ever stop the FDA and DEA in their tracks. So there's a lot of people still hold a grudge against us for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully they age out and we can work with new, more enlightened people.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, he was great. He was the one that I was saying, he was like, I'm super nervous, but when he was like, how are you? And I was like, good, I'm nervous. He was like, I'm really nervous.
Neither one of y'all came off as nervous at all when y'all each spoke.
Yeah, I'm so glad we had him. He's a powerful voice. And I think that there was no voting done because of maybe my testimony and definitely his. He brought so much knowledge to it, and he really got their brains ticking. He was just like, they were asking questions and all kinds of stuff. So I almost want to email him and just be like, thank you so much.
Now, Jeff, I have a question. How did you prepare as a consumer who went to the Capitol and spoke out, which is not easy to do? How did you prepare for this?
So I wrote it. And I kept reading it over and over again. And I also asked ChatGPT, like, hey, what do I expect down there? Like, what do I expect? And Chat said, there's like security when you first get there. And, just so I would know, because I had no idea, but yeah, I just read it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So
that was smart asking ChatGPT.
Yeah.
The fear of the unknown is what trips the biggest amount of people up.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it is, Robin. That's what it is.
And Jenifer, I would strongly encourage you to write an email to Bob and thank him.
Okay.
Because so often they don't hear that enough.
Okay, definitely. Do you think that I should also write follow-up? Because what I regret was not turning in, because I printed out hard copies. I had several. I had a 60-minute testimony. I had a 90-minute testimony, and I had several copies printed out, but I was so nervous I forgot to give one of the copies to them. I regret that. Do you think that I should follow up with letters and stuff?
I would follow up and say thank you for tabling this for now. I want you to have this information for if it comes back again.
Yeah.
so that you
Right.
have additional information to learn and research about. And please feel free to contact me with any questions you have.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
remind them that you were there and you spoke, and
Yep.
even
Yeah.
send a link to the YouTube to the timestamp. You started around the 2 hour and 30
Yeah.
minute. What
Okay.
I would
Good
do,
idea.
let me give you a tip. You can only do this on desktop. You can't do this on mobile. On YouTube, if you go to right where the spot is, like find that spot, go into the share, and when the box pops up to hit the share the link, there's a tiny box that you can click on that'll be that timestamp exact. So when it makes the URL, it does it in seconds. It's kind of bizarre. So for 2 hours and 30 minutes, it's going to be a big number for seconds, but it adds it to the URL. So when somebody goes that URL you give them, or go right to the spot you want them to. And I would send them that link, and when you email and say that this was my testimony, just to refresh your memory, this was my
Yeah.
testimony, and here's the link. This link will take you right to it. And so I would do that. I can help you if you need help with that.
Yeah.
I think we should all write Bob Durkin. I
Yes.
love every time I see him speak, because he's been doing these. I think he spoke at our Texas one last year. I'm pretty sure he spoke at that one too when it was up for a ban. But I don't have his email address. If anybody can get it, I think everybody watching this, whether you're live or watching the replay, all of us here on the panel, we should all email him and thank him for that testimony. It was powerful.
Very.
If nothing else, you could,
Yeah.
if no one can find his email address, you can email him through AKA.
Okay, ChatGPT could probably find it.
Right.
Haven't you had ChatGPT find emails for you?
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
All my emails for everything I do. And when you ask them to copy
Really?
paste, tell them to always put a comma in between each one so that they'll do the little bubble thing on there. Yeah. Yeah. I use it for everything.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too. Me
And
too, girl.
I'm
It's
just learning about ChatGPT, but I do have some hesitations because a couple of the things they've sent us were not necessarily correct.
It's not
So
always
if you're,
perfect. Everybody needs to keep in
yeah,
mind it's not always perfect. It's not.
exactly.
Still
And
do your
especially when you're looking up regulations and hearings, check what it tells you. And Spokane is probably the
100%.
most perfect example of that. Venus and I went through it last week
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Does
because it was
anyone
telling us that the meeting
Yeah,
was
sorry.
next week.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Oh no, you're good. I'm so sorry. Does anyone know what that guy's name that was like the main chairman of that meeting that was talking mostly? No. Okay, I don't either. I was
No,
trying to find out.
you can find it out by going to the name of the subcommittee, and it'll list them in order.
Okay.
And his name will be as chairman.
Let me go over to that from the link from your site, Robin, and see if I can find that. So that was the House Bill 968, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah, okay.
So where should I look for on that? Because I'm going to the link that takes me over to Legiscan.
It should have it should have a listing of the committee members, the subcommittee members.
I don't see that.
You may have to dig through it.
By the way, a quick tip for everybody watching. So let me show this real, because I want to show you all some stuff, because we need more people doing this as consumers to help advocate. Give me a second. I'm going to bring your site back up, Robin. I'm going to walk y'all through a quick process on advocating. That's so easy to do, and more people need to do. Literally, y'all can do this now or later. It's so easy from your phone or from the computer. I'm going to walk you through the steps. So right now we're on Robin's website, Botanical Advocacy and Education. Let me put the link back up on here. I'm doing serious multitasking today. All right. Go to botanicalae.org. You're going to see what I'm seeing here. This is the homepage here, I believe. And then right here in the navigation, go to call to action, the very first one. Too many actions, not enough advocates. When you go here, this is the page that has all the ban bills. Not all, most. You said you're still adding more, right, Robin? You've got a lot of them on here. But I think you're still adding. So when I go to Georgia right here, see Georgia, and you don't have to live in Georgia to do this, y'all. Click on this House Bill 968. And it takes you over to Legiscan. When you're in Legiscan for this bill, scroll down and look. You can go ahead and put a testimonial right here. We need more of y'all. Here's Jenifer's. Here's some other people that did theirs. Here's mine right here. Let me tell y'all how I did this. Speaking of ChatGPT, I gave ChatGPT knows my story. I also give it like my little generic testimony. And then I gave it the information specific to the Georgia bill. So I can have specifics about that as well. So this is, this was so well written. And of course you can tweak it. I had it just help me formulate my ideas better. So I wrote, I'm writing as someone who personally consumes natural kratom, has done so responsibly for over 6 years. Georgia House Bill 968 would classify mitragynine and 708 as Schedule 1 controlled substances and repeal existing provisions that regulate kratom. This would effectively make natural kratom illegal in Georgia and remove a regulatory framework that was designed to protect consumers. Because again, there's already a KCPA in Georgia.
Yeah.
So I'm addressing that here. Schedule 1 classification is intended for substances with no accepted use and high potential for abuse. That standard does not reflect how kratom is used by many adults, nor does it align with Georgia's prior decision to regulate kratom rather than prohibit it outright. Repeating regulation in favor of criminalization removes safeguards such as product standards, oversight, and accountability. It does not eliminate use. It shifts consumers towards unregulated markets where safety controls are absent and enforcement becomes more difficult. I'm not opposed to responsible regulation. I support policies that prioritize consumer safety, transparency, and evidence-based decision-making. What concerns me is abandoning regulation entirely in favor of a Schedule 1 designation that carries serious legal consequences for responsible adults. I respectfully urge the committee to reconsider HB 968 and to preserve regulatory approaches that protect public safety without criminalizing responsible adult kratom use. Thank you for your time and consideration. Now, I would not have written it that well if it wasn't for ChatGPT taking my ideas, my way of talking, and information about that specific bill. So this is a great example of how AI can help you in an instance like this. But y'all, there should be way more testimonies on here. And this is so easy to do on any of these Legiscans. You can go in here.
I sent the link. I put it in Reddit and in the Kratom community. I put it like, on the school app. I try to get as many people. Is there anybody in there that was speaking for the ban in that in those comments? I'll get on there and look, but
in our school community?
No,
on Legiscan. But the one thing I want to add about commenting on Legiscan, we don't know positively yet if those are researched against voter rolls.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's something that an advocate in West Virginia brought up, and he's trying to dig into it to find out for sure.
Interesting.
Okay.
So that would be a case where if you're not in that state, say I have family or I have friends, I vacation there 3 times a year, use a familial or financial.
I get that. But still in the big picture, it is still good just
yes,
because people are going there from all over. And you're definitely going to have legislators in other states looking at what's happening around the country. You're going to have all types of people. I mean, I think the most effective for like the legislators in Georgia is to follow their procedure, which was we already had it. There was a link, they had a specific site, and I did that too. I feel like this is that little extra that's not necessarily the legislators, it's the big picture because the public can see that. I feel like post in as many places as you can. Cast the wide net, get your voice out there far and wide. And don't limit yourself just to your city and your state. You can do these for other states. I don't have anything happening in Texas right now. I'm lucky, but I can still advocate for everybody else that's going through this right now.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, like you said, I have my story. I mean, ChatGPT knows my story, and anytime there's a ban bill, and and the AKA will send an email, I'll just copy and paste my testimony real quick. And, I added it to Ohio, to Utah here recently. So yeah, I just always have it ready to copy and paste in comments to tell my testimony.
Yeah. And then the ones that have
you can do.
The ones that have the remote testimonies, you can go to any state also.
Yep.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Wow, we've had a lot to talk about today.
Something I wanted to bring up before we
Yeah, we've been here a while.
Another way that apparently they have decided to try and come at us, Washington just did it. They have a bill in motion. It's a tax bill. Shouldn't be any big thing, right? Okay, so they want to tax Kratom. They want to tax Kratom at 95% tax.
I saw that. That's insane.
Yeah, that is crazy.
So I guess they're figuring if they can't get us one way, they'll get us another.
I have a video for that. I have a news video for it. Let me play it real quick because I saw that and I was like, what the heck?
It's insane.
So that would basically double the price of Kratom.
Literally. Mm-hmm.
It would literally just double the price. So yeah, I wasn't sure if we'd have time. Like, we definitely don't have time to watch all the news stories, but this one is quite shocking. So I have it queued up. So let me play this for you.
Because I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah, a lot's happened this week. This was one that let me see. This news story came out 19 hours ago, but I heard about it, I think, yesterday or the day before. So this one's new. So watch this.
State lawmakers are looking at imposing a 95% tax on Kratom products, similar to a new tax on tobacco products that went into effect this year. Lawmakers behind the move say the goal is to discourage minors from using Kratom. KOMO's Lynn Ann Wynn live this evening.
Are you kidding me? All of this is an attempt to keep minors from buying. What minors are buying Kratom? Number one, just like
I guarantee you, I had grandkids that come around. They see my Kratom and run the other way. They don't even like the smell of it.
I mean, I'm dumbfounded. Like, this is all because of the kids. What kids are even buying Kratom and accessing it?
Mm-hmm.
My God.
And that just shows even more that there needs to be a strong, well-regulated KCPA or something similar.
Exactly. I just
or do like they do with tobacco and alcohol. Like, it is almost impossible because you have to show ID absolutely everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. I'm still carded all the time when I get cigarettes, all the time. If they would enforce it, have secret shoppers go in and enforce it, then kids wouldn't get their hands on it. They should enforce it.
Yeah, that was the big thing they talked about in Westlake Village this week was kids are going to get it and mix alcohol and Kratom, and that's toxic. Dude, I'd be more worried about my high schooler getting alcohol than I would about him getting Kratom.
Right. And then the other thing one of them brought up was that the high school wasn't even in that town, so they would just get it where their high school was.
Exactly. Well, let me finish, but I just didn't.
Please,
I hadn't watched this yet, so I heard about the 95% tax, but I was just shocked when he said what he just said. Let's keep going.
Seattle with a look at this proposal. Lynn Ann?
Preston advocates say that Kratom is natural and can help boost energy, relieve pain, and even help with opioid withdrawal. But public health officials also warn that there also could be serious side effects. A hefty tax on Kratom products could be on the way as state lawmakers weigh imposing a 95% tax.
So many things that might be useful, to provide some energy or relief when it's in the hands of young people, especially when their brains haven't fully developed, is a real concern.
Senate Bill 6196 would impose the tax on Kratom products at the distributor level and require licenses for distributors and retailers. The bill would also require clear labeling of the product and its ingredients. And the money collected from the tax would be put into an account aimed at funding programs to prevent youth access to harmful substances.
It can lead to addiction. Young users may experience severe side effects such as seizures, increased heart rate, and even withdrawal symptoms.
But local business owners like Umid Lagari with International Cigar and Tobacco in downtown Seattle fear it could drive business out of Washington state.
Just a little increase on everything. I think it's going to run us out of business,
Lagari also worries this will be yet another cost of doing business they have to balance on top of new taxes on tobacco and nicotine products that went into effect this year.
I think if they keep penalizing, that kind of customer, eventually, they're going to buy stuff from somewhere else. So I don't think it's still benefit from it, and I don't think it'll have any impact.
Advocates say many retailers already don't sell the product to minors. And while they are on board with regulation and age limits, they worry this bill goes too far.
This bill goes beyond taxation in terms of felony criminal charges, specific 5-year records retention requirements, and product and vehicle seizures for retailers or distributors selling natural kratom products.
Wow.
There is also a separate bill being considered right now that would raise the age limit for buying kratom products to 21 and over. Both bills are expected to be discussed in executive session next week. Reporting live.
Wow.
Where was that again?
That's crazy.
That's Washington State.
Wow.
That's crazy. But I heard, okay, so I caught something they said. They would tax that if this went through 95% at the distributor level. So I'm not sure if I understand this right. If they're going to basically practically double it at the distributor level, distributor still has to sell it to the vendors, the stores, the whatever. So they're going to mark it up. They're going to first of all say, well, I'm not paying that. Like, I'm going to pass it along. But then the store has to mark it up. So like it could be way more than doubled for the consumer.
It could be 3-4 times.
Because he said, I clearly heard him say distributor. It would be charged at the distributor if this goes through. Oh, man. What because what I want is show me the receipts. What kids? Where's this a problem with kids?
Right.
I doubt there's any problem with.
Because I guarantee you, I could take kratom into a high school right now, and ain't one of them going to take it.
That's right.
Yeah. The way it tastes terrible.
They smell it and run.
Or even looking at it,
Yeah, exactly. But also, what would happen? You don't get high from it. You don't. I don't know. The people that are like, oh, this stuff's. It's like they think this is so bad. Why don't they try it and see how it's nothing?
Right.
It's nothing. I get pain relief. I don't get any kind of, I mean, some people say, well, I get a euphoria, but they also say, but not the euphoria like with drugs. It's like, I just feel better. I have
happy,
well-being, happy. I
And
just don't suffer in
sad
pain.
It's sad that the word euphoria has come to mean a bad thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Because euphoria is a sense of well-being, a sense of uplifted. Euphoria is not high. And do most of us that consume kratom feel that true definition of euphoria? Yeah, because guess what? We don't hurt, or we're not depressed, or we don't have social anxiety.
Exactly.
We aren't taking it to get high. That's the reason we quit doing things we used to do.
Right, exactly. I hated feeling that way.
Right. Angela has the simplest solution. Just make it a law. Anyone under 21. You just make it against the law for minors, which KCPAs do that.
Yeah, and depending on the state, some have put it at 18, some 21. You know what? I have no problem putting it at 21. That's what alcohol and tobacco is.
Yep, and enforce it, because they did the KCPA in Georgia, but like they're not enforcing it like they said at the hearing.
That's just
And that's the single biggest challenge I have encountered with the KCPA is if you're not building into the bill a method of enforcement and a method of funding and training that enforcement, then the enforcement isn't going to work, and you're going to do what Georgia and Utah are doing, coming back saying, well, we have this regulation, but it doesn't work, so we're just going to ban. It doesn't work because you didn't work it.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Well said. Y'all, this has been an amazing 2.5-hour discussion, and we unpacked so much today. Jenifer, we loved having you here because you did an incredible job.
I would love to hear you guys more often, for real.
Yeah.
No, we love to have you.
Yeah, I mean, I got lucky because it snowed and stuff, so all the kids' games and stuff today were canceled. So I was able to join in, but their season's almost over, and then this spring I'll have my youngest in soccer, so it'll just be her. So I won't be going to practice and games every Saturday, and it'll be early in the morning when she starts. So I'll be able to join you guys more. This was great.
Oh, that'll be great.
I get openings from time to time, and it's usually last minute, so that's the only thing. And it's just knowing like who's interested, and then I just try to reach out and see like who's available. And this worked out great because I know in the past you've said you would love to be on. I just know it hadn't worked out schedule wise. But with you speaking in Georgia, we were watching it like, oh my God, you were so great. It would be great to get your perspective and to explain to everybody, fellow Kratom consumers, that like any of us can go do this. It's just going and just doing it. And our voices
Get it out of the
matter.
way. Just do it. Yeah, that's what I had in my head. Like, just I
It
gotta
makes
go
a
do it.
difference.
Yeah.
It makes a difference. And Venus and I have both gone to DC to speak, and it's powerful. It's a powerful feeling talking to people that don't know much about Kratom, but they're interested in hear our perspective, and to help lawmakers hear both sides. They're hearing very one-sided things, and we gotta
Yeah.
help them hear our side.
Yep. And advocacy gives you a high. Like the advocacy high feels so good afterwards for days,
We're making a difference, and it's a great feeling. I mean, when we were in DC this last time, every meeting I had was incredible because on the first one, I didn't plan this, but on the first ones, while I'm talking, something inside me said, I got my Kratom in my backpack right here, my bag of Christopher's. I'm just gonna pull it out and show, because I think there's this misconception this is some bad evil thing, right? So we were meeting with different legislative aides, and I literally blah blah blah, telling my story, been in pain management 9 years, taking opiates every day, and then I got dropped because of government policies, and I find Kratom, and then I'm like, I make a tea and I drink it every day, and I've never had a problem. My labs are great, blah, blah, blah. I'm not having to take all these pharmaceuticals. And I'm like, here, let me show you. And I pull out the bag and I open it and I said, this is what I'm just showing her the powder. And every time the guy or girl would go, that's it? They all had the same response. That's it? And they all said the same thing too. It looks like matcha. And it was wild. Like they felt this, I could see they felt this ease, like she's just showing me a powder that looks like a green tea that helps her, and she doesn't take opiates. How amazing. Like I could see how amazed they were. And it's powerful that because you go and speak out, you don't have to go to DC to do this, but I wanted to go, and I've done it twice now, and I'm glad I have. We can do this at any level in government, and it's powerful.
And it's great to meet everybody too in person. It's just so much fun.
It really does give us a sense of community that so many people lack nowadays in the days of social media. When you can actually meet someone face to face.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, for sure. And Deborah Chesney says that she's happy to go anywhere within 8-hour drive. And I saw she commented earlier that she signed up for your group, Robin. And we just need more everyday consumers to like get involved with Robin's group so that you can help volunteer to, they'll keep you posted. Go to botanicalae.org. So happy to be teamed up with y'all to help promote what y'all are doing, Robin, you and your team.
Oh, it is such an honor and privilege and pleasure to be working with all of you guys.
Well, y'all did amazing work back in the day.
Yep. And I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Y'all did.
I think that's a good thing to admit to. I feel the excitement starting to come back.
Good.
Among other people.
Good.
That's good. That's good. The other people have said the same thing. And
that's amazing to hear.
Yeah. This has been great. I'm so glad we had such an amazing conversation with Jenifer and Robin joining us as special guests today. And this has just been awesome. I think since we're all fired up in advocacy mode, we'll wrap up with one of our fun songs. I always like to end with a song, and our fun Kratom rock anthem that comes out of Florida. I just feel like when we're all fired up like this after watching hearings, we got to stay fired up. And just get out there and keep fighting. Share your story. Just talk to people about Kratom. Let's help. We got to normalize this plant.
Definitely.
Yes.
That's like the best thing we can all do. So it's great seeing everybody. Thank y'all for being, y'all stayed the whole time.
Thank you.
Awesome. So I'm going to send us off here, and we'll be back here. We'll be back next Saturday to do this all over again. And Venus, do you have any? I know, like, we got school tomorrow for kratomrealtalk.com. Come join us for our school chat.
Yep, at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
It's just a casual Zoom-like chat. I won't be there tomorrow, but Venus has it all under control.
I'll be there. Come as you are. Don't worry about anything. Just
It's
pop
private.
in anytime.
It's private.
I'll be there.
It's not public
Good.
like this. It's private. Come hang out with us over there. Go to kratomrealtalk.com to come sign up if you're not already in there over on the school platform. There it is, kratomrealtalk.com. All right, y'all. We will see you all next time. So if you haven't heard this, thank y'all. If you haven't heard this song before, enjoy it. It's a great rocking song to close us out. See y'all soon.
You can't bear roots, nah, 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 nah. You can't bend my truth, nah, 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 nah. Hey, Florida, we see the game. HB 1489, not today. Natural leaf, ancient tree, now they want to make it a felony. Nah, we ain't playing that corporate tune. Kratom's the voice of 1,000 moons. From the fields to the streets to the healing hands, you can't kill what the earth commands. They assess certification, regulation, tricks. Just another play to make the people sick. They write the rules, we break the chains. Your lobby games won't own our brains. One voice, one fight, we rise tonight. You can't bend my roots. I'm a child of the storm. I was born to be free. I ain't bending no more. You can't break my truth. You can write your lies, but the people rise. No 1489. Mail orders ban, remote sales cut. Who's that help? Big Pharma's gut. They don't want plants, they want pills. They don't want cures, they want bills. But guess what? We ain't that dumb. We'll shout this message till the war is won. Kratom's our anthem, Kratom's our right. HB 1489, we fight tonight. They write the rules, we break the chains. Your lobby games won't own our brains. One voice, one fight, we rise tonight. You can't bend my roots. I'm a child of the storm. I was born to be free. I ain't bending no more. You can't break my truth. You can write your lies, but the people rise. No 1489. You can't outlaw the trees. You can't outlaw the breeze. You can't outlaw the dreams. We are Kratom. We are free. You can't bend my roots. I'm a child of the storm. I was born to be free. I ain't bending no more. You can't break my truth. You can write your life.